let's try this again. Let's do a refresh. And maybe we are live now. There we go. Yay! DeFi Kingdoms, a day in the life. That ought to do it. Awesome. Very good. Okay. Now I think I can get over to here and everything should be good. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. We click on this link now. Yep, there we are. Nice. Well, let's finish up a little bit about a tweet that I was just sending out. And one of the things that I want to look at here is Sentient Pumpkin. Let's see. So maybe it's make a little check out this cool site. Crypto Meme has started working on in the background. He gave us a nice tour on the morning stream. There you go. Tweet. All right. Want to make sure to get that out there. And just so y'all here on this chat room are seeing that, in fact, I guess what I really need to do first before I go too much longer is pop out a chat window. Let's see here. First, let's just test the microphone. Hello. First, let's just test the microphone. Sounds good. Link, Born to Die. Are y'all coming in? Thanks a lot for stopping by. Just now getting a chat window open where I can see y'all. Just pop that chat window out, pull it over to the screen. We had a good group of people in this morning's stream as well. Welcome on in. Link, Born to Die. Yeah, we had Crypto Beam hanging out with us quite a bit this morning on Twitch. And give us a little tour of this site that he's working on. I think we're going to, or one of the things that I want to do on my stream is dedicate 1 hour a day of the 6 hours that I stream to learning and showing or teaching how to do some programming interacting with the DFK blockchain and DFK itself. And so I think that, so Crypto Meme has been very inspirational for the last couple of days, especially helping me out, answering a couple of questions, giving me some pointers, a bunch of links to some things, and then this little site as well, which I will drop into chat. It's also on my latest tweet here. But yeah, so the Sentient Pumpkin. It's something Crypto Meme has been working on or putting together. And it's got a couple of interesting features here. Kind of like a side project, I guess. So there's a gold mining calculator where you can plug in a hero ID and get some information about it, and then see how much gold this hero will yield per tick, and then also per gold run. And so if you were maybe about to buy a hero, you could plug it in here and see, is one hero going to be worth it as opposed to another hero? Something that this kind of makes me interested in then is, rather than having to plug in heroes one at a time, I wonder if we could just do like a tavern search in a way and just have a list of a bunch of heroes that we can sort by gold per run, right, with their max stamina. And this looks like a very, I shouldn't say it looks like a very easy, but it looks like one of the more basic tools that I might be able to start with and pick up. Doing something similar to this is one of my first tools. Of course, we had to donate to his wallet address for putting all this together. Some other things that we've got on here, a little name search. Link says, I don't use Twitch yet, but will soon. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I started streaming a little bit on YouTube, is because I noticed that almost all of the DFK community is here on YouTube and doesn't really have a lot of Twitch accounts. I think over the last month, several weeks, it maybe me solely streaming on Twitch has brought over, I think, 5 people from the DFK community have created Twitch accounts. So hello Carol, how you doing? Boarded Die says, yeah, I don't like that I can't rewind or pause Twitch if something comes up live. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you can, but that is true. If you're in the middle of something, I think you can always rewatch later. But you are right in that Twitch does not offer some features. But I think there are several features that Twitch does have that we don't have on YouTube that I really like about the community. Like here, we don't have emotes that we can give out very regularly. We don't have audio alerts that we can tap into, and some other stuff that kind of help bring a community feel better, and that y'all can contribute to parts of the stream here on YouTube that we do over there on Twitch. Yeah, Link says here, Twitch is necessary for DFK to grow. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure about necessary, but absolutely I do agree that Twitch is really all about game streaming, right? And there's a bunch of crypto people on there already. In fact, we were looking at this morning on this Twitch stream. We did a quick search for categories, right? And so we were wondering how we can bring new players in to DeFi Kingdoms specifically. Because right here, let me go back, or let me just say, yeah, let me go back a time or two. So I'm streaming here with DeFi Kingdoms, right? And of course, if we look in there, there's nobody looking at DeFi Kingdoms right now, or nobody streaming anything with DeFi Kingdoms right now. But if you go to something else, like Sandbox or some other stuff here, not only is Sandbox live, maybe we can look at a category also, right? But the thing is, there's a bunch of other people streaming that stuff as well. So if we look at categories here, those are just channels. Categories, Sandbox right here. Then you can see you've got the Sandbox game itself, and then you've got some other people streaming. For a total of 260 people are watching those streams right now. And I think it'd be really nice if we got more people streaming for DeFi Kingdoms as well, right? And then, of course, there's a lot of other interactions that we can do. But one of the things that we were looking at this morning as well is, I guess we need to go back to Twitch here and then look for crypto. So how do we get new people in? And we're thinking, well, maybe there's something we could do with categories for crypto where people are already familiar with crypto and crypto games, NFT games, and we can get in here and maybe integrate some of these games with what we're doing. I think marbles was one thing. I don't know if y'all have a lot of experience with marbles. But, you know, a game that interacts with viewers where y'all can be watching or playing marbles and maybe winning some prizes or something like that. But I think that's what Crypto Meme and maybe a couple of other people are doing specifically, is they're using the marbles game to bring in new people into DFK. And maybe we can do something like that at least for an hour or two of my stream day as well. I think the biggest thing right now is how to bring more people in to DFK. A lot of us seem to be working on that. Crypto Meme was saying he's working on that a little bit. I know that Crypto Grady's working on that a bit. I've heard Raph and Neindorf talking about that recently as well. So I think that's a big thing a lot of us are shooting for right now. Let's see. Born to Die says, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, Twitch is necessary and you're doing great things. So thanks, Link. I'm glad to hear that. And 987A says, just kidding, see Rock on TikTok. Wow, you know, I thought about doing DFK TikToks. If that's what it takes, I would do something. I don't know about that. Not a huge TikTok fan. But let's take a look here at a little bit what Cindy and Pumpkin was doing, because I do want to start, like I said, about an hour of my stream day dedicated towards programming and teaching other people to program for DFK and interacting with the DFK blockchain. So here we can put in names like Wolf Gaze, I think that's one. That's the last name, and do a search. And I think Crypto Meme was saying that this was a feature that Pieface wanted, if I remember correctly. One of our DFK people was asking for this feature, and he created it. And I thought that was really cool. And it goes out, it pulls up hero IDs, and then all of the hero IDs with that last name or a first name or something. And yeah, it was kind of interesting to do that. And then of course the gold mining calculator. And then there's a hero stuff as well that we looked at this morning, which I'll briefly just point out again. One of his first little tools was to go and grab hero ID. So if we look at my heroes, for example, and we take a look at maybe Galena, well actually let's just do Remnella, hero ID 30. And you could plug that in. So we've got hero ID number 30. And then you can see a little bit about the, oh, this shows the owner. I should be the owner of that. Oh no, it's, that's not me, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, something like that. There we go. So here's my wallet address, 1CD, and so on. And so you can see the gene codes, you can see the generation, the rarity, all this other kind of stuff for it in here. Kind of look a little bit underneath the hood. Kind of like the fact that you can see the hex address for the current quest. It's got the, I kind of look at the visual genes and stat genes here to kind of like a strand of DNA. Looks kind of interesting there. And we've got all this stuff here. And I know that there are other tools that let you see this kind of thing as well. But this kind of thing really inspires me as maybe like a hello world. For those of you that are programmers out there, hello world is generally one of the very first programs that people create when they're starting a new programming language. Hello world programming. For those of you that don't know a lot about programming, it's kind of the, anytime you're looking at a new computer language, for any of these programming language, Basic, C, Unix shell, whatever. Let's take Unix shell as an example. And you can see, there's a way to get Hello World printed out on the screen, or to do the same thing in the C programming language, or to do the same thing in the C+ language or C# language. And so there's different ways in different programming languages to do to output Hello World to the screen, right? And as you can see here, lots of different ways depending on what language you're doing it in. But that's usually one of the very first things. So when I look at this, I kind of see this as an interesting baseline to start from. At least your name rhymes. TikTok with rock. Nice. There we go. Link 987A. And then finally, for crypto meme stuff, we've got International Bloater Day, which I think we're going to take his page here as the official countdown for Bloater Day right here, right? And I was thinking maybe we could do something special on the 28th of November. I think this is noon my time, US Central Time. That's what this ends up to be. 34 days, 21 hours, 37 minutes. Anyway, I thought I'd get y'all caught up with what's going on there, or what we talked about this morning, and kind of, again, give a little pitch out to Crypto Meme. Thank him for being here and hanging out with us all morning. And we got to tour a little site. Looks like he's also very interested in helping us learn how to get a little bit into some of the programming, interacting with the DFK API as well. And I think that'll be really nice. And if we can start to build some of our own tools, maybe I can help to educate and inspire some of us to build some other tools. Even if there are some things out there that are similar, just learning can be very useful, right? Okay, let's go ahead and, so anyway, I've got a tweet out there, and I've even got something here. Like and retweet this to get extra raffle tickets. So let me go ahead and do this thing and copy and paste this to the chat. If y'all want some extra raffle tickets for this weekend's giveaway, go ahead and check out this specific tweet. I dropped it in the chat. Go ahead and do a like and a retweet on it, and that way you'll be getting information out to the bigger DFK community that I am live, and right now I'm live, and maybe bring some more people in, and then also, of course, that they can win prizes and all this kind of stuff, which always is fun to do. Maybe it'll get more eyeballs looking at DFK and streams as well. Right? Okay, let's go ahead and pick up with something else that I wanted to do this morning that I didn't get to because we were having so much fun with Crypto Meme, but we didn't get to look at all of the announcements going on. So let's go ahead and do that today here on YouTube. So let's see. What we've got is a new message that just came out from Bullen not too long ago. Quick follow-up on the announcement for the summoning event. We are in a summoning event right now, so it's a good idea to summon as much as you can. And you're going to get raffle tickets for a Gen 0 hero on the Clayton blockchain. As you all know, we look for ways to discourage multi-walleting in order to get around the one win per wallet portion of our raffles. This event is no different. Therefore, we'll be implementing the following system. Each additional summon performed by the same wallet will be worth 0.02 entries more than the previous summon. We will then use the standard rounding to determine the final numbers of entries. 0.5 or more rounds up. So that's good to know. So we've got something here where we can look at one summon, of course, is one entry, but when you start doing 2 summons, 3 summons, and so on, you are going to get more raffle tickets for that specific account. And so once you've done 8 summons, then instead of 8.56, it rounds up to 9, right? So that might be a good number to shoot for. I don't know how many summons y'all are planning to do. All things DFK. Hey, welcome on in, Robin Hood. And also, all things DFK. Do you want me to call you Robin Hood, or do you want me to call you all things DFK? I know you're trying to do maybe some marketing for your new project here. I love it. Let's see. In fact, I want to talk about that too. I forget exactly what you're currently pushing for, but I do remember that maybe you were trying to get lists of content providers. Is that correct? And I think Grady reached out to me yesterday, and he was saying that maybe for me specifically, you didn't have a playlist. Were you able to find my DFK playlist? I did want to reach out to you about that. I also noticed that some of my videos are not on the playlist, but one thing we could do here is, let's see, videos, and then, I guess I can go under playlists here. And there is a DeFi Kingdoms playlist that I have. Hello. Let's pause that. And maybe there's not a lot of stuff on this playlist. Oh, here it is down here. So it looks like there's only a few videos maybe on that playlist, and I'm not sure why there's so few. But let me grab and give you this link. There you go. There's a good link for you, Robin Hood. And that should be a link here, but it is not showing, I will admit, it's not showing all of my daily live streams, right? And so maybe that's something that I can look at today and find out why my daily live streams are not showing up there. But I'm also thinking, do we really want the 3-hour daily live streams on the playlist? Because that would be a lot to be in there. What I'd really like to do is have a YouTube or a series of YouTube videos specifically that are, about 10 minutes long. I think that's the standard, short time for a video that gets consumed a lot easier, 10 minutes of a video. And I do plan to have a lot more of that content, and I think that would fit better into a playlist. Let's see, Mystical Meows, hey, how you doing? Welcome on in. Nobel, gotta head to class. Hopefully I was able to get in on the first giveaway. Yeah, it is 2:30 right now, so we are doing the first giveaway. And so yes, you are in the first giveaway. You do not need to be present when we actually spin the wheel. So yeah, you are in, Mystical Meows. If you need to head out to class, go for it. Let's see, Adventures in, and Romario Raven is here too. I wish we had a sound alert to sound off right now. But now is the time. Get your names into the chat right now. Oh, actually, no. We need to do something a little bit different. I'm sorry. Let's get over to here. This is it. So yeah, you're in the chat. So Mystical Meows, All Things DFK, Romario Raven, y'all are here. Nobel, you are here now as well. I had to turn on the mods for you. Anybody else? Link, are you still here? Carol, are you still here? Born to Die, are you hanging out as well? Born to Die is here. Nice. 9A, 7A is still here as well. Very cool. Don't forget me. Carol will get in here. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, squeeze on in. We'll give everyone about 60 more seconds, or 30 to 60 seconds. You're either here or you're not. And I think generally 60 seconds or 30 seconds is enough to get out of the other room. If you're listening to me across the house while you do some chores or some other project, should be able to get over to this window and say hi in chat within 30 to 60 seconds. So let's see. All Things DFK says, I saw your playlist. Yes, it takes a bit, though, to propagate through. Oh, okay, yeah. YouTube, before I can share, we are compiling a DFK-worthy, all DFK-worthy influencers and playlists on All Things DFK. That's amazing. I love to hear that. I know for myself, personally, YouTube doesn't really have, as far as I know, it does not have a category section like Twitch does. So on Twitch, it's very easy for all of the DeFi Kingdoms streamers to stream in that DeFi Kingdoms category. And so it'll be real easy to see who's all providing that content. But I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if YouTube has something very similar to that, right? Rob just made it in. Don't forget the like. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot, Nobel. YouTube does kind of help people or show off a video a little bit more with their algorithm if you like the video. So make sure to like the video. And now that we're doing giveaways and we have all these people sitting at their computers, it's a good time to like that. Let me go ahead and collect these names right here. And we're going to go ahead and say copy. We're going to paste these over to the wheel of names. All right, so we got everybody in here. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Oh, we do have Rob, Dig Root. Are you not here with us? Let me check this out real quick here. It's on another window, I think. Rob, why are you not here with us? I don't see why. But we will add your name manually. Control C. There you are, right there. Okay, so you did pop in. It took a little bit of time. All right, glad to have you here with us. Let's go ahead and paste that name. All right, so we've got some names. Who is going to win the ticket for today? Control V a couple of times to paste those names in again. And let's do something here with some of these rollovers. Let's do a rollover +2 and a rollover ×2. So if it lands on the rollover +2, of course, or if it lands on the rollover, I think y'all know that means that nobody wins this time, but the tickets will roll over to the next time. And then we'll add 2 additional tickets or multiply by 2. Right? So let's go, go, go. Let's see who wins this. Drum roll, please. It is going to be, looks like Mystical Meows. Congratulations, Mystical Meows. And she's probably not here to enjoy the win. I think she headed out, she said a little earlier, got to head out to class. So good luck in your class, Mystical Meows. And you don't have to be present to win as long as you were here at the time when we were looking for the names at the 30 minutes. So Sergeant Filthy McNasty won a ticket from this morning as well, and just had to split right before we spun the wheel. I'll just put Mystical Meows down. All right, congratulations. We'll hand out those tickets in a little bit. See, 987 says, there's the strategy. Register and leave. Yeah, it seems that for the last 2 times that we've spun the wheel, the people that had been here a little bit but then had to run away, those were the winners indeed. So maybe we'll try that. It's like, say hello and then go lurk. All right. We'll get that ticket handed out in a little bit. Again, we are winning. Mystical Meows, if you are still listening, I don't want you typing if you're driving or anything like that. But I do know that some people listen to the streams while they're driving in their cars. So again, please don't participate in the chat if you're driving. But I'm glad that some people are dedicated enough to listen while they drive. So we are winning this raffle ticket, kind of rewards ticket right now, all during the week. We give away 6 of these. And then on the weekend, on Saturday, we're going to use these to win either a hero or a pet or attunement crystals or something, right? And if you want to participate in what we are going to win, you can come over to the Darlantis Discord, and let me drop that into chat as well. I think most of y'all are in the Darlantis Discord by now, but just in case you're not, I'll drop a link there. And then in the Darlantis Discord, right near the top, I guess in the first section, is a thing called giveaways. And I've asked for some ideas for giveaways. So are we going to be summoning a fresh new Gen 1 hero? Are we going to be doing pets, as J-Dub suggested? So our last weekend's pet giveaway was solely because J-Dub mentioned it here in chat. We've got other ideas too, random loot items. Someone mentioned attunement or stamina potions, attunement crystals or stamina potions, some other stuff. So y'all feel free to come in here into the giveaway section, give us some other ideas, and then what we might do is we might put it up for a vote from week to week as far as what y'all are interested in being given away. And then there might be some little randomization in there too, perhaps. Because I don't know if I can do Gen 1 summoned heroes every single week. Maybe I can do a little bit of that. All right. So I wanted to fill y'all in on what's going on there. Something else that Crypto Meme and I were talking about working on this morning was a way to interact with... Oh, in fact, before we get off of this topic first, all things DFK, please drop a link to your site where you're throwing in the information or putting in the information about all the influencers. Rob Diggs says, the universe is trying to keep me from my first ticket. Well, we don't want that. Yeah, we had to add you manually, but glad to have you here. Thanks a lot for being in. 970 says, but Siri will gladly register in your place. Oh, interesting. Will it? I wonder if that's something that could actually be done. And I'm sure that some people would make bots, right? I guess some people could make bots that could come in, especially if we know that we're doing it every 30 minutes after the hour. It might be easy enough to have a bot that joins a YouTube channel and says hi. I don't know how hard it is to do something like that, but maybe. I think Crypto Meme, again, this morning was telling me about one of the bots he created a while back was just a clicker. Clicked around the screen, it did things. And I guess as long as you're clicking around the screen, you could train that type of bot to do anything that you could do by clicking around the screen, right? So I guess that would mean including joining YouTube channels and perhaps even saying a word or two. I guess though, if we saw the same person only chatting at 30 minutes after the hour and only saying hi every time, we might start to get a little suspicious, right? Yeah, train Siri to do DFK tasks. That'd be kind of cool too. So let's see. All things DFK, if you are still here, then yeah, drop a link so we can kind of share, and I can go there and check it out, and we can talk about it a little bit on stream as well. And then also, if Born to Die is here, if you read anything new, we're about to go through all of the Discord channels, and so I think it looks like you've got a few new announcements in your page as well, which we're going to take a look at very briefly, or shortly, I should say. So let's see. This morning we were talking about Team Goose and Crypto Meme, and they had some announcements in here. One of the things that you might want to look at is this Xearn link that they have, where we can participate in some community wallets. In fact, maybe later today, what I would like to do is add a new lore hero to their project. So I'm thinking about going into DFK Tavern. Let's buy just a cheap old hero of something, throw it into their guild hero bank, and seeing how that does for us over time. And my thinking behind this is I'd like to promote what they're doing here if it means that somebody wouldn't necessarily have to buy a bot, but they could still get the income or the rewards from having a botted hero or a couple of botted heroes, right? You just buy a few heroes, throw them into this hero bank, and start reaping some rewards on a daily basis. That could be pretty cool, right? I put a few heroes in there to give us a good start towards the 500 goal. Participation is not required. 1% is put into the guild wallet. And then, of course, we've got these heroes are not in here. Q4H heroes are not in here. This will be voted on in the future, and again, talking about some of the Team Goose stuff that's going on there. So that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to definitely party on with that, and maybe even give them a to the moon rocket. Born to Die is here in chat, so let's go talk about DFK Quester next, right? Born to Die project. And so we've got a new feature. Of course, if you haven't watched me recently, got a new video. I guess Christian did a little interview. I think he said it's not extremely recent, but it's fairly recent. It's got a lot of new stuff with the DFK Quester. And then yesterday, just a little bit of new content here. Now you can create presets, show and hide and record the order from that. And so this little video here, I think was, and this is not, it's hard for me to show this on my screen here because my quote full screen, if I go full screen, is 4 times as big as this monitor is. And so it doesn't really show all the stuff that I would want to do. And this thing is a little small. But if you go under the DFK Quester, which let me invite y'all to that if you're not already a member, which I think everyone here is probably. But if not, check out his Discord and watch the video on your screens. And I don't think there's any talking, if I remember correctly. There's no talking, it's just kind of you showing how to get involved and do that. So we could do that ourselves. And also I was using DFK Quester earlier today to look at a brand new hero that I summoned. I really like this look of the extended information on the back of the cards. This is another really beautiful thing that I think the DFK Quester does. I'm not sure of any other tool that we have that shows something like this. And of course we also have, sales history of stuff like that in there as well. You know what would be really good? Born to Die. I would like to see something that would maybe give us a warning, maybe like a red box around something or whatever, if one of the heroes in the genetic tree goes back to one of these Gen Zeros ranging from 1 to 19. We hear about that quite a bit, where those old Gen 1 through 19 heroes, or the Gen Zeros for that. Did I say Gen 1? I meant Gen 0 heroes numbered from number 1 to 19. Those stats are going to be re-rolled, and possibly, I should say most likely, all of their descendants are going to get re-rolled as well. And then I'm aware that there's possibly certain circumstances or situations where they wouldn't necessarily have to be re-rolled, but I think that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked on that. The point is that I don't know how many of my heroes, like when I first started DFK, I was just buying heroes. And if they looked good, I didn't even know about the recessive, active one, passive one stuff anyway. So I wasn't even looking at that at all. But it would be cool now that I've got about 75 heroes. I don't want to have to go and research each one of those one at a time. So it'd be really cool if I could put in a wallet address, and then there would be a tool that would give me something that would say if any of the heroes in that wallet are tainted. And then when we pull up something like this, it would be also kind of interesting to see somewhere, and I don't know where a good place for it would be necessarily. I guess maybe not in the sales history, but maybe there's some kind of parent information that we could see somewhere and have that looked into, right? You say it would take more API calls though. One of the things that I was talking to Crypto Meme about a little while ago is I wonder if some of this information we could do that is static, right? So there's a certain amount of static information, like a hero ID number and the hero's name, or the hero's parents and their parents and their parents and their parents are never going to change, right? And I'm curious then if most of the people that I've been talking to, the devs like you, Born to Die, and Crypto Meme, that are not on necessarily the DFK team, y'all all seem to be talking about the fact that you're going to have to make more API calls. And so obviously we want to keep that number down, but it makes me think of perhaps putting some information into a spreadsheet that maybe others of us can get access to. Things like a family tree, right? So if we have this massive family tree in a Google spreadsheet, as in just one example, or if we have also a spreadsheet that contains hero ID numbers and names, then we wouldn't have to interact with the DFK API. We might be able to pull that information from our own spreadsheet or spreadsheets, right? And that could be helpful as well, right? Crypto Grady says, I love it. Starting the stream over, I'll catch up. Nice. Crypto Grady in the house. Probably listening at 2x speed. That's probably good. So if he's listening at 2x speed and we've been streaming for 40 minutes, then he'll be caught up in about 20 minutes. So nice. Ah, very cool. That is one thing I do like about YouTube, is it does have the ability to watch at faster speed than normal. And generally, even listening at double speed, which I have listened to many things before at double speed, you can still understand it pretty well. So that's cool. So let's see. Born to Die says, I could look at that. Yeah, once I have the premium live, I can rent out a bigger server that holds more info. Yeah, I think, and I'm willing to help out with that too. I don't know what it would take to do that kind of thing. I do have Google, I am paying for like more space on Google Drive. And so if I need to, if it would help to, what am I thinking of? Diversify or decentralize, maybe is even a better word, to decentralize this information across multiple accounts, then I'd be certainly happy to hold a spreadsheet or a copy of a spreadsheet that has that some of that information as well, that the tools can look at. And maybe it would be a situation like, I don't know, pinging a couple of different spreadsheets to see which one is still up and has values. Something like that sounds like it could be good. And then that way we don't need to keep hitting official DFK API stuff as much, right? If it's such a big deal that we're all worried about it. All Things DFK says, hopefully it will be live soon. It's in Grady's description section and his recent interview about with the About Life podcast guy. Yeah, so I saw Crypto Grady's recent stream bringing in the About Life podcast guy, and that was someone that I ran across a while back, and just like Grady was saying, it was really fun and exciting watching a brand new player that you could tell he doesn't really, at least in that video back then, he didn't really know a lot about how to do much of anything, right? But I found it really amazing to watch his process as he was talking about, you know, what he thought was going on and how to do things. And I wish that he would have been live. I'd jump on right there and say, oh, try this. And so I'm glad that Crypto Grady reached out and brought him on stream. And it sounds like, Grady, I know you're catching up right now, so we need to wait a few minutes for you to get all caught up. But I'm going to think that you are going to be doing a regular stream with him on a regular basis as kind of an educational thing, which I think is fantastic, if that is what you're doing. Even if not, I think what you've already done is really good. And of course, bringing in new people, I think that's what it's about, and helping to educate some of these people too, especially other people that are streaming. We want high quality information going out. And even though I did find it amazingly fun to watch a stream of a new person learning how to do things, we also want to make sure, I feel, that for other brand new people that are looking at videos, that we have more streamers giving out more accurate information too. And I know I make mistakes, so I'm really happy to have y'all in live chat. So if I do say anything wrong, or if there's something that's I'm doing that I could be doing better, or another website that might have more accurate information or something, that having y'all in here and saying, oh yeah, check this out, or here's a better place to look at what you're trying to do right there, I think is really good. And then as other viewers watch me in this video in the future, then it can be maybe a little bit better with some of the information that I'm putting out there too, right? So let's see. Born says, can new heroes be tainted with the Gen 0s through 120s, or is it a fixed number? So they can be, right? If, again, as far as I understand, if your parentage goes all the way up to one of the Gen 1 through 19, so it's not 20, I think it's just 1 through 19. But if your great-great-great-grandparent, or however you want to say that, is one of these Gen 0 number 1 through 19, then it's possible for you to have those tainted genes, or maybe I should even say it's most likely that you're tainted, and you would have to have a reroll, right? So, yes, that still happens. And if we take a, and that's a good point. So, Born to Die, let's come in here real quick and let's take a look at DeFi Kingdoms. And let's come into the, if we scroll down into DeFi Kingdoms Discord and look at hero summons right here, we should be able to see right here. Here's a good example. Dibane's Forth was just summoned recently, a Crystalville hero. This hero is descended from the heroes 1 through 19 as his active passive genes that will be re-rolled. So we can see right here that we're getting a caution statement, and these are being, you know, re-rolled, or these are being summoned now, today. This was, you know, just a little while ago today, right? And so these things are being summoned, and it looks like they're not coming around too often. And fortunately for us right now, it looks like there's not a lot of ones that are going through those 0 through 19 heroes And I think Crypto Grady mentioned that very same thing on the stream that he did with the About Life podcast guy, right? And he brought this up there. So I'm glad that we're getting more word out about it. But I would love to see this in the tavern as I'm buying heroes. Is this one that I'm about to buy in the tavern, is that one I need to be cautious of? And I'd like to see it on more tools. So for Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, for DFK Quester, for DFK Analytics, those type of places, it'd be really nice if we had a way to look that up. And since we know that some of those heroes are still out there, we should be able to not necessarily have to look back through the entire tree, but perhaps as we continue to summon these heroes, see now, if we can find that our parent is Crystal Veil Hero 44151, if 2 months down the road, our parent or grandparent is this hero here, then that's going to taint the heroes that we're trying to make right now. So rather than having to recreate the entire tree every time we're doing API lookups, if we just keep a list of those and keep adding on, then all you really need to do is look up to see if your hero is one of these here, right? Do I have that correct? I think I do. And then at some point, these heroes are going to be re-rolled, in which case, at that point, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that DFK is not going to force a re-roll on some of these heroes. It's going to be only if you want to participate in player versus player PvP stuff, that before you can participate in PvP, you're going to have to re-roll some of these heroes. Unfortunately, what that means to me is that tells me that if this hero gets re-rolled and one of its descendants is created that doesn't re-roll and has been tainted also, that might break the chain a little bit for who needs to re-roll and who doesn't. So one thing that I kind of wish would happen is DFK would force a re-roll on all of these things and just wipe them from existence so we don't need to worry about them, right? To some extent. Yeah. Brady says, I love how you're talking about Twitch early in the video. Yeah. So we did quite a bit on Twitch stream this morning, and some of y'all might have missed it, so I wanted to make sure to touch base on there, because the Twitch streams are sometimes fun. Yeah. All right. So I did want to come on here into the DeFi Kingdoms Discord and just point out, especially to you, Born to Die, if you weren't aware of this, just to see that it's still here and see that it is still relevant, right? Yep. And then maybe we can build our tree from this, and maybe we wouldn't have to hit the API so much if we can build our tree, from here or something. And then again, have it on a spreadsheet where we can just interact with our spreadsheet more than the API perhaps or something, right? Okay. Let's move on to the next thing here. So again, getting back to some of the stuff with DFK Quester, there are columns. And so let's come over here and let's take a look at DFK Quester app. And let's do is it just a lookup, or let's do a profile here. Do I have to give my wallet address to connect? Enter a name or an address. So we should be able to do something like Rock808. It's going to pull up my main account, my test account, and my kind of like a backup or secondary account for the things that aren't bots. So Rock808, I've got a bot on there right now, which I'm a little wary of. So all of the stuff gets moved from this account to my Rock808B. But let's check out this account specifically, which is where we've got heroes and some other stuff. here. We've got our liquidity pools in here as well. And so we can see, well, I should say we had some liquidity pools. I recently got out of the liquidity pools. I'm getting prepared for sending all of my Jewel into C-Jewel. So I liquidated probably too early. Well, I shouldn't say probably, definitely too early. But it is what it is. As soon as I liquidated my gardens, that same day we got an AMA saying that we weren't going to have another, we weren't going to have C-Jewel until probably the 31st. And I was like, oh man. And at that point I didn't want to get back into the gardens right away. So at any rate, so what Born to Die is saying now is we should be able to grab these things and change them around. How are we doing that? You would have to connect in MetaMask profile page. Connecting is read-only action. There's no risk. Okay. So we could go into here, the profile. We can connect. I know that a lot of people do not like to connect even for read-only stuff. So I'm not sure if that has to always be a requirement. If you weren't here in chat right now, I probably wouldn't. And even with this one time, even with you being here and saying it's safe, I still am hesitant. But one thing that we could do is we can see here, it says see addresses, account balance, activity, and all this kind of stuff. We can connect. Something else that I'll also mention, Born to Die, and again, I don't want to tell you how to run your app. And I really appreciate everything that you've been doing here. But I know that there are some tools out there that we can give addresses for and look at those other addresses, right? And I don't know if that's something you're trying to avoid, like if you're trying to avoid people looking at other people's addresses or whatever. But I've found that that can be very handy for some research that I've been trying to do. Like maybe I've got a friend that has an account and I want to try to match up heroes with them, or I've got an account that a friend is running where they have a little bit of a guild going, and I've added some heroes to their guild, and it would be nice for me to look that up, but I don't have a way to connect with that wallet directly myself. And so being able to give a URL that has a wallet address up in the top, and is that DFK Analytics that I'm thinking of that has that? One of these tools has that, where you can give some more information in the URL line. And that would be really cool there too. That would also maybe help us to not have to connect our wallets specifically, which is a little scary even if it's only read-only. So let's see here. Okay, here we go. So now we can move around, we can pull and drag and drop these things, and this is something I've really been looking for, so thank you so much. Born to Die. Wow. So what we've got here, I forget exactly, oh yes, it was, I think DFK Analytics. Let me just come over here real quick. DFK Analytics, was this it? Yeah, so we should be able to put like multiple addresses, I think. Let's see if I can do that. Can I do something like that? Maybe it wasn't this one. I think it was a different one actually. Let's come over here, DFK. It was one with this right here, DFK Analytics. And then from here, I should be able to do a wallet address. We're not going to connect, but I can put in an address. And then it pulls up all those heroes, all that hero information. But the problem, maybe I can move these around? Yeah, so I could move these around as well. But the problem that I had with this was it didn't give me quite all the information I wanted back then. So I'm really happy to see that we've got that available here now as well. Where did DFK Cluster go for me? There it is. Let's see. Born to Die says, yeah, lookup page is shareable. I'll go into bringing this feature. I will look into bringing this feature to that page. Yeah. So I remember the whole reason I asked if we could do this, if you could help put this together, specifically because I was trying to keep track of, on a spreadsheet, a list of heroes and very specific bits of information that I either wanted to see or didn't want to see. So here we can like turn on and off things. So we could turn on and off if the hero's a perilous journey hero or not. Experience points, what wallet is there. I think maybe we don't want wallet, maybe we don't want status, maybe we don't want type or something. And then we can get exactly those fields that we want and turn off some of those fields we don't want. And then of course I should just be able to copy and paste this into a spreadsheet, which is what I was really looking forward to as well. So let me just do a few rows of this and just see how this is going to work. Control C. And then I should have, let me pull over a spreadsheet into here. Let's see how this pastes in. Control V and paste. So this is something else that has been a little bit of a challenge for me to work with, and that is having this in the columns is a little bit tricky for me. But then yes, so Born to Die says there is an export button in there, and that was something else that I think was really excited me about DFK Quester, was having the ability to export the CVS stuff. And I think here we've got this export button, and then we can export probably CSV, is I think one of the best things. Or what I'd like to do is I'd like to see it on the screen, because now I've got to open up this file, and maybe I'm not so it's just copying hero ID numbers. So opening a file there. Open. Yeah, for some reason, at least on my system here, it's not popping it up into an editor or something. I'd like to have a real easy, of course this is not too big of a deal for me to try to go in there and find it and copy and paste it. Guess you need Excel. Well, I was hoping that it would just open in a text editor, but maybe I don't have that configured in Chrome at the moment. Yeah, because a CSV file shouldn't necessarily need Excel. It should just be a normal text file. But I could do that by popping open another window somewhere. Where do I have another window? I don't know if y'all were aware, I switched over my machine back to Linux. I really do love Linux in general. And so we could do something like less downloads. And then this is a F9 something or another. And now here we've got this, and I can copy and paste from here. And then paste that into the spreadsheet over here, like that. But it does mean it's a little bit more of a hassle and an extra step for me to do. And like I said, Born to Die, I appreciate your effort on this, so I don't want to have you jump through a bunch of extra hoops. Sounds like that's something that I should do myself, but this is another reason why I would love to have a URL that I can point a script of mine at your URL that would automatically download or export a CSV file of the information. And then from my end, I could be coding that my script on my end to parse through and get the information there that I wanted from that, right? But it would be helpful to be able to pass in a URL that had the specific information. Even something also, by the way, that might be really cool. Again, I don't want to put a lot more on your plate, but I'm wondering if, you know how YouTube, if we go to YouTube, it has the video right here and the video name, and then it has a list, and it's a part of a watch or a playlist, and then it has the channel and the name for that. It'd be really interesting if we could give it like a wallet address equals this, and maybe your collection of columns in some kind of a hash notation, like with this collection of, or with this series of columns, then that would come out to be a certain evaluation. And I guess it wouldn't be a hash, because then we couldn't necessarily go back on it, but maybe give some kind of combination of letters and numbers for that, and it would turn on and off certain certain fields, and then we could send a URL and then pull that in, right? That would be kind of interesting as well. But here is what I've been doing, and one of the things that I was looking at, like I said before, is a real nice way to pull that into my spreadsheet where I can see the growth. And one of the things that I was doing very specifically back then was I wanted information about the hero's stats and levels. So do we have a way, see, there it is, on for the strength, dexterity, and all that kind of stuff. I was very interested in that, as well as their mining skills and forging skills and all that kind of thing. And then I was even tracking hit points and mana point growth as well on a regular basis. So what I would do is I would want to see a list or some output like this with all of those features here. And then I would be exporting this on a daily basis, like every day at noontime when I take a break for lunch. I would be I'd be putting in my wallet address and copying all this into the spreadsheet where I could see each hero's growth on a day-by-day basis. And with the and this was when I first got the waifu bot. I was very interested to see how much progress the waifu bot was helping my heroes grow day by day in a 24-hour period. Yeah, it's very cool. So, Born to Die, thanks so much. This is really going to help me a lot get back on track with some of that monitoring that I was doing. Even without the other features like being able to give a URL and all that kind of stuff, this right here is really good. And being able to move around those columns is super important for me. And the strength and dex and all those extra features, those stats you've added, thank you so much. That is amazing. So anyway, guys, that is DFK Quester and some of the new features that Born to Die has added for us there. Go check that out. In fact, I think everybody has got everybody's got that link, but just in case not, I'll drop a link there. And as always, anytime I'm talking about a project, I would love for any of y'all that are out there, it doesn't even have to be the owner of the project, to drop a link to these projects that I'm talking about. I'm not one of those streamers that gets upset when other people shill projects. In fact, I love when the community shares links and stuff about other projects that are going on or that are similar or that other people are doing. And so feel free to drop those links. At the same time, I will also mention this is, we are dealing with crypto and NFT gaming. And there's a lot of scams out there. So unless you're seeing a link specifically from me, and definitely make sure it's from me, not that I'm immune to scams, but of course, if other people are dropping links and other people are dropping links that you don't really know who that is, or you don't feel comfortable with that person, definitely make sure to be careful to not just go and click on any links, right? Crypto Grady's chiming back in, probably has gotten caught up with us here. Hey, Crypto Grady, I hope you're caught up. And you're saying, yes, About Life podcast once per week. Nice, very good. So that's going to be really cool. I am really interested in seeing how you progress with that, Grady. And not just to see like the topics that y'all talk about, but how we are bringing in new players, and also how some of those things, how some of the aspects in DFK look. For example, one of the things that I noticed recently was it's very hard to get money into an account, it seems. And of course, I had is Crypto Meme again was helping me or giving me a couple of suggestions of ways to do it using the Avalanche blockchain and just buying Avalanche from some place like Coinbase and moving that in. And I think one of the things that was mentioned during that talk was the fact that bridging Avalanche or Avox token from the Avalanche blockchain over to the DFK blockchain will automatically give you a little bit of Joule for gas on the DFK blockchain. And that was something that I was struggling with, is how do we get them to get their first bit of Joule before they're even on the DFK blockchain. So as long as bridging over Avox using the in-game bridge is going to do it, then that's good. But I haven't actually tested that myself. But I had several people say that it does work that way. All right, and that is one thing I do want to test sometime soon, just to make sure that that's working. Let's see here. Anybody else? Yeah, so All Things DFK. Do you have a link? If you're still out there, All Things DFK. Did you drop a link for your stuff? The chat isn't letting me drop a link here due to YouTube's live chat community guidelines. Okay, so that's unacceptable to me. I want y'all to be able to drop links. So how do we do that? I think I'm going to need to come on another screen because I don't know what my studio is going to show, if there's anything I shouldn't be showing on there. And then I should be able to go to maybe customization or community, I think. Under, is there some kind of community? Comments. Let's see. There's no comments that are held for review. So it's almost like y'all aren't even allowed. So there's a community setting, there's a moderator setting, there is all channels can redirect my content, block links. So here I have a setting that URLs sent in live chat are already blocked. If you select this option, new comments with hashtags and URLs will be held for review. This setting does not apply to you or moderators or approved users. Oh, do I just need to approve y'all? Is that all I need to do? So, let's see. I can pin messages, remove, add, but I don't know if I can. So I don't want to block links. Let's see, if you select this option, new comments with hashtags and URLs will be held for review, but that's not what I want either. And then there's a defaults. We're saying allow all comments. I'm gonna click on another button here, hold potentially inappropriate chat messages for review. Although in general, I want y'all to be able to say everything you want, but I didn't see anything held right now. So I'm gonna assume that maybe if they're not held for review, they just get dropped. Hold. So let's see if that affects it. And then let's see, I can send on Discord. Yeah, that's fine too. But I also want to be able to let y'all, let's see, permissions here. Managing permissions. Move, let's see, move permissions to YouTube Studio. Get more roles to choose from, including managers, editors, viewers, and viewer limited. Build a great team to help you manage your channel. Let's see. Keep managing permissions in your brand account. Continue using your brand account to add and change permissions. You can assign people one of two roles. Okay, let's do that. All right, users, managing permissions. Let's see. Connect your phone with a cable. What the heck? No, that's not what I want to do. Can't locate your device. That's fine. I don't. More ways to verify. Maybe we can use Bluetooth. I don't know why it's trying to connect to my phone right now. I'm trying to sign in. Yes, I'm trying to sign in. We'll get this set up. Then maybe I can give some of y'all special permissions to do cool things. Let's connect my phone with the cable. All right, we'll see how that goes. So anyway, yeah, really good. In the meantime, while that's kind of doing its thing in the background, let's see what else we've got here for DFK Quester. A couple little mini updates in here. Very good, good information. Added export option. Oh, wow. So this is a new option also from October the 24th. Wow, because that's really going to be useful to me as well. Added background column, profile page, tavern page. Thanks, ScriptGritty, for pointing out. Nice, very cool. Yeah, I love the fact that we're doing some expansions, and I think more people in the DFK community giving suggestions and ideas really helps. I know that when I do a lot of coding and stuff myself, and I'm providing tools, I love to get feedback from the community as far as what stuff to do. Let's check out DFK. Specifically, I think we already looked here at the announcements from this morning. Oh yeah, the summons, and having more summons per wallet is going to be better. So this is going to kind of make it not quite so good for people with multiple wallets to try to win those Gen Zeros. So summoning more times in a single wallet is much better, right? Edit, there is no cap. Nice. Let's also check out the waifu stuff. Carlo gives us the waifu bot. It looks like I do not see any new updates in his channel right there. Let's also check out Adventures in DeFi Kingdom. Do they have any new updates? It looks like there's a general chat here that might have something with somebody's name in it. No? No, what's going on there? I don't see something. And it doesn't look like there's any new announcements in here as well. Let's see here. Guild information. I guess we can look at that a little bit later. All right, what else do we got? We've got Team Goose. And I think that we had, oh yeah, the XEarn announcement from earlier this morning. We spent all the morning Twitch stream on that one. That was cool. We've got DFK Solver. No new announcements in there. We've got Diffkey. No new announcements for Diffkey either. Let's see. DFK Fight Club, I don't think has any announcements in there at all. DFK Helper. Let's see. Do they have a announcement section? Yeah, they have an announcement section, but no new stuff there. If y'all have not seen this video, I think it's pretty well done from Inner Grove. Talks a lot about DFK Helper. Let's see. Then next DFK Hero also. So, let's see. Do we have an announcement section there? So no new announcements in the last little bit of time. And then we've got Primetime Guild, one of the newer things that I've added to my list of Discords. Let me drop their thing in here also, since I haven't really shared this much recently. Copy, paste, and I did get some information from, I think it was Crypto Meme, said that it was okay to drop this in there. So this is also another place where some people hang out and do live chat every now and then. So I've been enjoying that. They do have an announcement right here. Sabu! Excited to see another Fight Club tournament. Yes, indeed. I am excited. In fact, do we have a date on the next Fight Club coming up? How are you doing, Zabu? So let's check out their announcements in here. And it says there is a vote for a giveaway for the night for the Wizard. ETA 1 hour. And that was, oh, that's a while back. That's old. That is old. Need to stay up to date with these things. So here, yesterday, Monday Marbles returns a couple of days. So again, these are the guys that are doing the marble race on Twitch, and you can win some prizes. And I think that their whole idea, after chatting with a couple of them the other night in their little live chat room area, is that they're playing these marbles games on Twitch to bring in other like crypto people that might not be familiar with DeFi Kingdoms. And I thought that was a really good way to do it. So it made me think that I could reach out also, go onto Twitch, and maybe an hour or maybe even 2 hours of my stream in the morning time could actually not be streaming on the DFK category, but instead streaming on like another crypto category, right? And doing something on one of these other crypto categories, maybe something a little bit more generic rather than something very specific here. And then kind of bringing people into the DFK world, right? So how do we bring in new players? I know Crypto Grady is all about this as well, right? How do we bring in new players? And so as I think about this, and as I know other DFK enthusiasts think about how to bring in new players also, coming over here. Sergeant Filthy McNasty back in the house, back for more. Indeed, it is 3:30, and 3:30 is the time when we want to do another giveaway. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I don't know if it was your intention to remind me, Sergeant, but I do want people to help remind me about all this for these giveaways. So let's see, if you've been chatting in the last 15 minutes, you should already be on this list. But if you have not been chatting recently, now is the time. Y'all have got about 30 to 60 seconds to at least show hello. See here we've got Sergeant says, I think I've heard about this Crypto Grady guy. Sounds cool. Why is that hidden though? Why is this hidden for review? You see, that's something that I don't want to have hidden. I want people to see that stuff. I don't know why that stuff is hidden. Oh, maybe because you used a, I don't know why that would be hidden. All right, let's go, go, go. Here we've got all things DFK in the chat. We've got Born to Die on the list. We've got Crypto Grady saying hi. Nobel, Mystical Meows is even here. Oh, Mystical Meows, did you sneak in during class? Oh my goodness. Rob is here. Romario, Raven, Sergeant Filthy McNasty, and Zabu just came in the house as well. This is a nice group of people here. Let's give everybody, like I said, just another 30, 60 seconds. If you are on this list, you are already going to be included. So if you need to run off to whatever, that's fine. Oh, because he mentioned Grady? I don't think so. Crypto Grady said like hello a little while back. Was that too long ago? Tell you what, let me do this here. Toggle timestamps. So Crypto Grady said that at 3:16. So that was within 15 minutes, I guess, but just barely. Born to Die is here. 9A7A. Awesome. I think the only people that we might be missing is, if I scroll back a little bit, Carol, if Carol is still here. Nobel is here. Let's see, Link. And I think we haven't heard from Link in a while, so Link might have had to run off and do something else. All right. If you're not on this list, just a little bit. Oh, see, and there Crypto Grady just dropped off. We'll go ahead. I know Crypto Grady is listening. It's just he's a little bit behind, still trying to catch up with the stream. So we'll go ahead and add his name in manually for this as well. Although probably if Crypto Grady wins, I think I'll probably just give the prize to somebody else. Not that I encourage that at all, but he's tried to do that before. He's sneaky guy. Let's see here. I think we're all good. Then use the Synapse Bridge. Yes, Grady chimes in for the bridging of the box that we're talking about. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and collect these names and get it over to the wheel, guys. Let's see, Wheel of Names. Who's it gonna be? Let's go ahead and highlight all these. Control V. We got 9A, 7A, All Things DFK, Crypto Grady, Born to Die, Nobel, Mystical Meows, Rob Dig Roots, Romario Raven, Sergeant Filthy McNasty, and Zabu. And I don't see anybody that has popped in the last few minutes on top of those people. So let's go ahead and highlight these. Control V, add a couple more, and then also we probably want to do a rollover +4 and maybe a rollover +2. Add 2 tickets. All right. Here we go. Spin the wheel. Who is going to be the winner? Who is going to be the winner today for the 3:30 spin? It looks like Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Woohoo! Congratulations, Sergeant. And guess what? You had left earlier this morning, Sergeant, right before we spun a wheel, and you won. You do not have to be here to win these little 30-minute after the hour spins. You just have to have contributed into chat. And you had contributed into chat a few minutes before we spun the wheel. So this is actually your second win of the day, Sergeant. Get out of town. I'm here for the good times. I know you are, Sergeant. But it's good to have other people winning and participating and all this other kind of stuff, right? What I would like to have, so here, let me give y'all a little secret tip on this, right? I don't want to say this too often because I don't want a lot of other people to hear this, but guys, you got to think about marketing. How many viewers do we have right now? It's not a lot, right? And so the more people that are participating, the better it looks, right? Imagine walking into a grocery store and there's nobody in the grocery store. What do you think about that type of a store, right? There's nobody there. Or an empty movie theater. You walk into this movie theater and there's nobody in the movie theater. I would be like, Is this a good movie? Is this a good store? I feel like it's the same thing for these streams. If you've just got 1 or 2 people watching a stream, other people are thinking, is this any good? Nobody else seems to like this. So having participation is really good for all of us content providers, right? And so seeing you participate, Sergeant, is fantastic for showing other people. Of course, now that I'm speaking it out loud to some people, they're going to, oh, I see what you're doing, right? But we don't want to talk about this too often. What we want to do is we want to, Mr. Grady says, he's filthy, he's nasty. He started filthy being nasty, absolutely right. So what we want to do is we want to show that we have a lot of participation. And so one of the things that I would recommend for either you, Sergeant, or I know Crypto Grady probably doesn't really care about the prizes. I personally, if I'm winning on some things, I don't necessarily care about the prizes, but I want to be part of the participation where other people, new people perhaps, are coming in and they're seeing, oh wow, this is a hopping channel. This is really where all the community is. I want to be a part of this, right? If nobody's talking, if there's not anybody, if everybody in chat says, oh, I don't care to win, then that might mean some other people are like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be caring about winning either. And that's not what we want. So I want y'all to win. I want you to participate. I want you to do all that kind of stuff. And then if you do win and then you want to turn right around and give something away, go for it. Go for it. Give it away. Give it to somebody else. Put it back into the pot. We've got a giveaway wallet, by the way, where on my Darlantis Discord, in the 808 family section here, anything that's dropped into this giveaway wallet, we also have a 808 community giveaways wallet, which we're not doing a lot with right at the moment, but this is another example of something where you're saying, oh, I don't really care about this or winning this. I participated. I'm glad I was there for the participation, but I'm just going to give it away back to the community, right? I want to give back to the community. And it's not just for me, but I'm sure there are lots of other people that could happily take something that you wanted to give back to the community and do that too, right? But I would say if we want to foster bigger communities, then we want new people that are in here to feel the hype that you are excited to win, right? I think that's the message that I want to give out, at least for me. That I'm excited to be in someone else's chat, and I'm happy to win, Grady. Happy to win that hero from you. Putting it to work. And then showing it off on my streams. In fact, check this out, Grady. I'm not sure if you noticed. Let me check out my heroes here and look at Dark Knight. So I won a Dark Knight from Crypto Grady's giveaway here this was from Fight Club, and Crypto Grady was giving away these heroes. So I've got Yasa right here. It was the very first Dark Knight I ever had, and I just yesterday or this morning, no, it was yesterday, I summoned this brand new Melwin beauty right here. So this is a hero I got from Crypto Grady. Watch his streams, win things, right? He's giving away all kinds of stuff all the time. So indeed, flip those, I guess we flip them all over, and we see what we've got here. So pretty cool that you can go and win heroes from some of the other streamers, or pets, or anything like that, right? Absolutely. If y'all are not familiar with Fight Club, you definitely want to get hooked up with Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, perhaps, or you want to look at DFK Fight Club itself here. In fact, let me drop a link to this. I think everybody in my chat right now is familiar, but just in case you're looking at this later, check out that link for DFK Fight Club or ask around. You'll find one of us streaming almost all the time, and we'll happily give y'all links to this stuff. And Fight Club is where we were winning those heroes, and there's a bunch of other stuff. They have a tournament coming up soon again. In fact, Zabu in the house just was mentioning earlier about the upcoming the next upcoming event that Fight Club is putting on, and I don't have a date for that. Oh, here's tournament announcements. Are they having it here? Oh, look at this. It is here. Everyone, the next tournament has been announced. Bogside Chats. It's time we announce the next DFK Fight Club tournament. Thursday, November the 3rd. Mark that on your calendars, guys. Let's give them some other icons down here. So definitely November the 3rd. Mark that on your calendars. And actually, I think that's the day of the tournament itself. So we want to sign up early, right? So don't wait for this day to sign up. I think you're going to want to sign up a little bit in advance, a couple of days in advance. This will be a lightweight tournament, meaning no heroes can be higher than level 4. And I've got a couple of heroes that are under level 4 that'll be perfect for this. In fact, if I know you, well, I can't imagine anyone in my chat that doesn't have a couple of heroes here. But for some of you, if you do need a hero, and you've been a member of my chat for a while, I'm willing to at least let you borrow a hero. Maybe we can also do something about doing some kind of a drawing to win a hero even, perhaps, for that kind of thing as well. What I'd like to do is I'd like to set up like a newbie pack or something where I can give somebody who's coming in a little bit of jewel for gas money, maybe a little bit of something else for maybe a little bit of crystal to play around with, and like a floor level hero just to have a hero. And even though it's not going to be a fantastic hero, sometimes just having a hero is enough to inspire somebody to play a little bit more and get started and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking about doing something like that as well. Let's see. And your combined team cannot exceed 8 levels. For more info and signups to follow. Okay, so we're going to hear more about that stuff. Zabu says, can I borrow one of them Gen Zeros? You can, Zabu. I would let you borrow one of my Gen Zeros. Let's see. Although, maybe I should also say, guys, in general, I don't suppose it's a great idea to be lending out some things unless you really, really trust somebody, right? Because, of course, we're here in crypto land, we're here in NFT gaming land. There's a lot of scammers out there. I trust Zabu, but, you know, just be careful. I don't want my casualness with Zabu to get new people or other people listening to the stream later to think that, yeah, just hand out your heroes to anybody that's in chat, right? It's not necessarily a great idea. Sergeant Philly McNasty says, I don't even trust myself, right? Yikes. Yeah, I agree. So let's see. Sergeant Philly McNasty says, I join streams for the shout-outs. Absolutely. And the hopium, indeed. Guys, in fact, talking about shout-outs, Sergeant, when was the last time that you did a video? Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Is that going to get me this thing here? Look at this, guys. Videos. Doesn't have any content? What? How can you not have content? Okay. For some reason, this doesn't have channel content, but this does. So let me copy and paste. If y'all have not been watching this, oops, it's Control C and B. If y'all have not been checking out Sergeant Filthy McNasty's channel, you definitely should. I've been on there once, I guess, and then maybe as a side person. Although I think my picture's on this one, but I don't think I actually was able to make it to that. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago for some of this stuff. Good content in here as well. All right, so definitely make sure that you're subscribed. Ring that bell for all the notifications, all that kind of stuff. And something else too, guys, some of these videos, here's something I do with these videos. Looks like I haven't even watched this one yet. I strongly encourage, if we want to help streamers and get the name out a little bit more, that you, like at the end of the day, you don't mute the video, but have it on like a super low volume if you're not actually going to watch it, right? Go ahead and like it, of course. And then you can watch more than one at a time. And if you come in here under settings and play that speed back at 2 times the normal speed, you can still understand most of the things that are being said, right? Or I shouldn't say most, all the things.
So I started last year, I think it was late last year. I was quite interested. I got into NFTs quite late, right? So I wanted to do something, and then I was like, what can I do? Right? So
yeah.
I was a little.
So we're not going to watch much of it, but just to go ahead and point that out. And if there's a bunch of content that I don't think that I'm going to watch for a while, that might be a little bit older. So like, for example, for Sergeant Filthy Nasty specifically, if we're putting out a ton of content, let me go ahead and keep this open and just kind of playing off in the background. And then that'll give him an extra view and another like. And we might even come in here and say, awesome content. Just because the Google algorithm really likes to see engagement with the community there. But if there's some things that I don't think I'm going to get to, like for my streams, for examples where I've got 3 hours for a lot of other stuff, then you can open up more than one of these streams at a time and listen to them. I found that for me, I can listen, if it's normal speed, if I'm listening at normal speed, I can actually listen to and pay attention to 3 streams at a time. Not that y'all have to do that, but just some of my little tips and tricks as far as listening to multiple things at the same time. 3 or 4 streams is, I think, about my max. But yeah, that's Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Let's see. It helps the algorithm. It does. It really does. And I think if we in this community right now, most of us here, are probably trying to find better ways to spread the word about DFK content, that knowing some of those tricks like that, or at least being aware, could be very helpful to helping the whole community grow and just getting the word out. And people say, you know, sometimes people will see a video on some game and they won't even go and check it out the first time or even the second time. But you know, if you start seeing 10 or 20 videos about a specific game, you might be like, what the heck's all this hype about? Let me go check it out. So the more content that we can get out there as well, and the more content that gets hyped over time, I think somebody who's not checking out DeFi Kingdoms after seeing 1 or 2 videos show up in their feed, but when they start seeing 10 videos show up in their feed, that could be a game changer and get one more person to come in that might not have skipped it if they just see one video, you know, once a month or something, right? Grady says, I'm live now, I love it. Yeah, in fact, absolutely, right? So yeah, definitely check out Crypto Grady and all of his kind of stuff as well. In fact, those of you that were not really aware that you could do some things or had thought about it, let's take a look at Crypto Grady. Let's see. So what we could do, oh, are you not actually live right now? Are you going live maybe? I don't see that you're live here. But one of the things that you could do is, oh, in fact, talking about going live, something I do want to do here for y'all is open up my lobby. So if you come into the Darlantis Discord under lobby, I'm hanging out and I do want to make myself available to y'all to, oh, you're live in this chat. Woohoo! You're all caught up. That's what you meant. Awesome. So I got myself into the lobby. If anyone wants to join me on the voice chat, you're welcome to it. And more than one of y'all is welcome as well. But something else that I wanted to point out while we're here is I have watched multiple streamers live at the same time before. And if I'm a viewer, if I'm not actually participating in the chat and I'm just watching people's videos, it's real easy for me to turn on 2 different live streamers and watch 2 or 3 people at the same time. So like I know Grady was streaming yesterday and I wished that I could watch. I had to watch later. But if I was a viewer, when I'm not streaming, it's easy for me to do that kind of thing too. So yeah, that could be kind of cool. Jakamach, hey, how are you doing? Hello, hello. Welcome on in. Sergeant says, content creators are DFK's marketing team now, for sure, absolutely. And I think the more of us that we can get, the better. And so I'm all about bringing in those new people. I do that with this stream and Grady. Yeah, exactly right, Zabu. Yeah, if you know, one of us is streaming at the same time the other one is, I don't think it has to be a you have to watch one and you can't watch the other live. You can turn them both on. I think it's easy enough to listen to two people at the same time. Of course, if someone's giving some real detailed information, then you can kind of lower the volume on one of the channels or something like that for a little bit of time. But that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. And I think Crypto Grady had been talking a little bit about trying to find a good time slot. And I'm not sure what you've decided on there, Grady, but also a little bit of juggling our times around. And I'm all for that kind of thing too. I do want to be streaming for many hours, and so I don't really mind if people jump on when I'm jumping on. It doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. But since I am streaming 6 hours a day every day, then if I know someone else is streaming at a specific time, I might try to work around their stream, especially if there's someone who doesn't stream very often. Then I want to make sure to give more focus to those other people that don't stream too much. Let's see. Grady says, I haven't decided anything yet. Been busy. Lots of good stuff happening. Yeah, Grady. So I know that you'd recently told me about working with a video editor. That sounds amazing. I don't know if you're ready to share any information about that, but absolutely. I was trying to get my partner to do a little bit of video editing for me, but she's really busy too, and I don't know if she's going to have a lot of time. She hasn't been doing video editing before, and so it's going to be a matter of kind of teaching her how to do that as well. And then, of course, with my 3-hour-long videos, 2 of them a day at that, that's a lot of content to be trying to go through and parse through. So again, I think for me specifically, I think what I need to do is I'm just going to need to script some shorter videos, and just when I'm done with my normal 2 streams of the day, I'm going to need to actually take a few hours out and just create new content that is more focused and not this, you know, a day in the life, you know, what you get is random, you know, getting sidetracked in a bunch of other stuff. That's very hard to edit. I know for a fact because I've edited or tried to edit some of my own videos. And to edit a 3-hour video, I think I ended up taking 8 hours to edit a 3-hour video, or maybe even longer than that. So it was crazy. Gwei was kind of earlier, or kind of high earlier. What do y'all have for your waifu at this point, Rock and Grady? So I have set my Gwei for the waifu bot to be 17, right? 17 Gwei for the waifu bot. I'll put that in chat. And that seems to be okay. Especially, and so there's something else about that, Sabu, that I'll mention. I think that also might depend on how much you're bringing in. So in other words, if you've got a liquidity pool with $5 in there, right? $5 US in your liquidity pool, and you've got one gardener that's going in and trying to get that, trying to get a higher value from that liquidity pool, then maybe when the Gwei is that high, you might not want to send your gardener. In other words, you might want the waifu bot to not send and just to wait until the Gwei comes back lower, right? But if you're someone who has $1,000 or $10,000 into a liquidity pool, and you've got 6 gardeners, or let's say 24 gardeners, because this account right here, if I look at it, my heroes, let's do a reset and choose gardens, apply. I've got 25 gardeners right now, right? I need to get rid of one of them. I need to send one of them off to something else, right? So 24 gardeners allows me to garden 4 liquidity pools with 2 gardeners per group in a rotation of 3 different groups, right? So if 2 gardeners in 3 groups of 2 for 6 gardeners per garden, 6 gardeners per garden, and 24 gardeners means I can have 4 gardens, and I do. So over here for this account, if we go over to portfolio and take a look, oops, I used to have 4, before I pulled out my gardens, I used to have 4 gardens here, and then I was supplying each of those, and so having 24 gardeners really helped out. But now, right at this very moment, those gardeners are actually doing slightly different things. So fortunately for DFK Helper, I'm sending those gardens to Vitality and Agility and Wisdom and a bunch of other training quests. I'm sending some of those gardeners to actually do mining. So here's a gardener that's going off to a mining quest as an example for some other things. So while I've got them out of the pools, they're doing something a little bit different. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you've got $1,000 into liquidity pools and 24 gardeners, then you're losing more money if you don't send those gardeners off to do their gardens. And so you will be getting, or I should say the gas money, even 17 Gwei is so small, such a small amount that, fractions of pennies that the gardeners are bringing back either full pennies or even a couple of pennies worth of value each time, right? I remember as an example that when I did have stuff in the gardens, those heroes were bringing back, the 2 gardeners were bringing back about half a jewel per gardener. And so if we take a look at the marketplace, I shouldn't say half a jewel, but yeah, it was half a jewel. But even if we were bringing in something like 0.05 or even 0.01 jewel, and we were to look at how much US dollars that is, that's 1/10 of a penny right here, right? But that 1/10 of a penny is still quite a bit more value than the gas is. When we come over here and we look at the transactions for this, let's just take a look at this real quick. We see here that the Gwei, or the total gas fee, is 0.000629 joule. So even if you're bringing in a fraction of a joule, this is not even 1 joule, this is 1/100th of a joule, or a 1/10 of a penny, but it's still worth it. Not as much, but if you're multiplying this small gain times 10 or something like that, or a higher number because you've got multiple gardeners that are gardening, then it's still worth it, I feel. So that's my input right there. It really depends on how much you have in the liquidity pools as to if you want to decide if you want to send at that certain amount or not. Does that make sense, Zabu? You probably already knew that, and probably just asking me a good question to share with new people and chat. Although it's possible that maybe you were just wanting to get some input to kind of formulate your own decision on that as well. 9070 says Rock equals Truman Show. Oh my goodness, wow. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, good marketing stuff. All right. So let's make sure that we have do we have anything more that we want to do with the Discords? So one thing that I do every day is I go through everybody's Discord that I have linked up here, and I look at their announcements. And I think we've made it through everybody's except for Unity right here, right? So Unity is one that I've been putting off because, and again, I've only got an hour left on stream. Maybe tomorrow, and I keep putting it off. I don't want to put it off forever. But one of these days, we're not going to have a whole lot of stuff to do. And I am going to get in here into Unity Guild, and we're going to look through all the stuff that Unity Guild is offering. And if you are a new player, even if you're not a new player, I would say. In fact, let me ask y'all in chat. How many of y'all in chat right now, how many of y'all are already, you already consider yourself members of Unity Guild? How many people do we have that consider themselves members of Unity Guild right now in chat? And so part of the thing that I want to get across is it's okay to be members of multiple guilds. You don't have to be members of any guilds, of course, but you can be a member of guilds and multiple guilds. And Unity Guild specifically, so Jakamach, I think I'm pronouncing your name right, or Jakamach. Can you give me a phonetics of how you want me to pronounce your name? Kind of like, is it Joe K Mach or something? First way, Joe Kamach. All right, like you're joking much, Joka much. So yeah, so some of y'all are guildless, right? If you are guildless, I would strongly encourage that you check out Unity Guild at least, right? So let me copy and paste a thing here for y'all. There are lots of other guilds, and some of the guilds are going to be focused on different types of things. I know that I think Sandwich Punch, or is it Neindorf and Raph? Somebody is going to has a very combat focused guild, and there might be some people that have guilds that you need to have a certain number of heroes available to the guild to even be able to enter. And again, it gives you something to look forward to or strive for in the future. And so there's going to be some guilds that you might not want to enter, perhaps because they don't align with your own values for some reason or another, or they have different goals than you do, or they might have different requirements to get in, all that kind of stuff. But Unity Guild is one of these guilds that is specifically designed for new players and new people, right? And so I would really encourage new players, especially if you're not in a guild, get in here into Unity Guild. And then if you want to be a member of another guild, most guilds, I think, don't mind you being members of multiple guilds. I could see if we are going to have a guild versus guild like battle and types of battles, I could see how some guilds might not want some of their players to be in multiple guilds. So that kind of thing could be possible. But I think a lot of DFK guilds, and at least strong and deep level players right now that are deeply invested into DFK, probably are going to be all right with most people being a member of Unity Guild and their other guild, and they understand the advantages of being in Unity Guild as well. Very nice for new people. So Crypto Grady says, I love Unity Guild also. And I think a minute ago, Sergeant Filthy McNasty says, I am in Unity Guild as well, right? And of course, I'm in here also, although I haven't been keeping up with a lot of this over the last several days. I've been waiting for a time to really give it a lot of good focus, right? So here's a guild definitely to look into. It's going to be new user friendly. There's going to be a lot of help. I am definitely going to be putting some of my time, maybe some number of minutes a day, maybe 30 minutes a day or an hour a day or something, helping out Unity Guild with new people, right? So whether it is onboarding new people into the guild or showing new people the ropes on how to do something, I personally am very interested in onboarding new people, helping new people with information, education, pointing them into the right direction of things, and whether that is you know, Crypto Grady's streams and YouTube videos, or Sergeant Filthy McNasty, or the Fight Club stuff, or any of that kind of thing. I am all about pointing people into the right direction to get more interested in seeing a deeper level of this community and all of the events and the things that are happening in here. Yeah. So let's see. All Things DFK says, Rocky, this is Mr. Zipper 2.0. I appreciate that. I think I've got a long way to go before I'm Mr. Zipper level indeed, but definitely I do like to help people out, and hopefully over time I'll be getting more and more information, and so I will be someone that people can look up to provide good stuff. And I'm streaming 6 hours a day, so I really do want this stream to be a place that some of us can come and hang out and answer questions. And if there's a new, or even to redirect people, like if someone asks a question that maybe someone can't get to right away, you can say, oh, well, Rock's live streaming right now, as he does every day. Go and check that out, and maybe you can get your question answered there, right? And not that I have all the answers, but look at all these great people that we've got in chat right now. Sergeant Filthy Manasseh, Crypto Grady, have been around for a long time. All Things DFK, Crypto Meme was in here earlier, and Zabu, of course, here has been here a long time. There are some of us that are a little bit newer, like Nobel and 9A7A and Romario Raven. I've been learning a lot from Romario Raven also about duels specifically recently. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people have, even if I don't know the answers myself. Potatoes! Zabu says. Yes. Potatoes. How we pronounce it. Let's see. Zabu says, I'm a floozy, and in most, I've thought when guilds truly drop, they will have to change. They will have to change. Yeah, so I think when we have official guilds from DFK, I do have a feeling also that when you actually have guild versus guild combat, right? When you're on a team trying to battle and beat down another team for prizes, it's going to be hard to be on multiple teams and so on. And I'll tell you guys, I don't necessarily want to, gotta go, All Things DFK says, peace out. So glad to have you here, All Things DFK, Robin Hood. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you could be here for as long as you can. We're going to be streaming about another hour, but of course you could always catch up on the stream later, or, you know, we're going to be here tomorrow. Just come and hang out with us some tomorrow too. So anyway, have a great day and see you later. That is Robin Hood, All Things DFK. Thanks for stopping in. So one thing I'll mention about getting back on track with the guilds is that when you're trying to battle another guild for dominance or for prizes, I hope the community doesn't really get too vicious with each other, right? But I'm gonna have to say, I've seen really vicious guilds when it's a guild versus guild in a lot of these games that I've played in the past, where you have these top level guilds who are just in a free to play game, and it's only about winning on a ranking board, right? There's no money involved in some of these other free to play games, but the things that they go to, there have been guilds that I've been involved with where we have had teams of saboteurs and espionage and spies and all kinds of crazy stuff like that, right? Where we would we'd say, oh, let's, you know, we got this new person that wanted to be in the guild, and we said, all right, to be in our guild, you're gonna have to prove yourself, go and spy on this other thing, or go and sabotage something on this other guild. And we'd send off these people to this other guild where they would spy and sabotage, right? And I'm not saying this right now because I want to bring that into DeFi Kingdoms. I absolutely do not want to bring that into DeFi Kingdoms, but it's not up to me, right? I'm telling you all this because this is the viciousness that I have seen in free-to-play games. when a group of people just wanted to be on the top of the leaderboard. Now, think about that when you throw money involved, and maybe even the amount of money that DeFi Kingdoms team and dev team has or gives out to us as well in the winter. So we're talking about Gen Zeros, right? For thousands of dollars and this kind of stuff, right? So if there are people that are going to be that vicious and free to play games, I am absolutely going to have to suspect that it's possible for some of us to get wrapped up or swept up, or at least introduced into things that could get very nasty. And I know that there are some people, like I can't imagine Sargent or Zabu or myself or Grady getting into a sabotage where we're sabotaging other people that we know in our community, or we are doing serious espionage to financially hurt other people that we've known for months and months, right? I know that I would not do that, but and I think a lot of y'all might not, probably wouldn't do that as well, right? But then you also have to consider a gamification aspect of it, and I certainly don't mind playing a game and, like in poker, and lying, or lying isn't really quite the right word, but bluffing, right? Or doing something that is not totally true and accurate as a bluff to get the other player or other team to go down the wrong path of something, or to fall victim into something, a trap that we've set for people that are doing something, right? And if that's part of the game, if that is part of the game, then we might have to play that way, just like you bluff in poker and all this kind of stuff. You're not completely honest with other people in the game. It's part of it. But I do think that there could be some people out there that would be a lot more vicious than those of us that I'm talking about here, right? And we just need to be cautious of that. And then as a community, how do we want to handle that kind of thing, right? Yeah, just it's all very interesting there. Zabu says 11 plus on my leggy Zerker. Oh wow, triple vitality. What the heck? Zabu, do you have a link to something like a tweet? Have you tweeted that or something like that? I'd love to see these things, or even just in a Discord message somewhere, right? Or not a Discord message privately, but in Darlantis Discord. You're welcome to post that kind of stuff. Freak, welcome on in to the Discord. Yeah, I think if y'all have good, cool things where you are pulling up heroes or pets or something like that, I would love for y'all to drop that into the Darlantis Discord stuff, whether it's in the general section or the DeFi Kingdoms specific section in here. Just like Crypto Grady is dropping links for the live stuff, or even Romario is talking about the DFK duels thing. Feel free to drop that in here, right? I'd like to be able to come in here and say, hey, look at what people that we know are doing. Look at what people we know are pulling up for heroes or leveling up and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, feel free. Let's see. Sargent says, add money to that equation. Could be scary. Hadn't thought about it. Yeah, I don't necessarily like to talk about it. I definitely don't want to encourage that kind of thing. But I also want us to be aware and not be caught off guard. It could get bad, right? Zabu says, oh, I think it will. And with crypto and money on the line, even more so. Could be very fun, but ugly also. I mean, more along the lines of competition, not dirtbag stuff. Yeah, I think I do like games where you try to outsmart somebody also, right? So I remember there was a game called Lord of Ultima, which is it was an online multiplayer, real-time strategy combat game that was semi-related to the Ultima 2 and Ultima 3 games that we had a long time ago, but it was quite a bit different, actually. But it was a game where we got into guilds, or alliances as they were called, of 100 players. You could only have 100 players in your alliance, of course. And so because of that limitation, then those guilds, those top guilds who wanted the top scores, would only allow in the top players. And so you had to prove yourself to be a super top player. Drop your Discord link? Absolutely. Let's see. Let's drop a Discord link for Born to Die, I guess, there. I think, hang on, let me try something new. Yeah, 9A7A here says !Discord. I thought I had done that. Yeah, !Discord will always get you the thing, so if you need to see that, or if someone is asking for it, then any of us can just type that in and get the Discord link there. Yeah. So anyway, there was this game that we were playing, Lord of Ultima, and we could only have these 100-member guilds, and so because of that, the top guilds, of course, wanted the top players. If you're going to be the top guild, you've got to have the top players. And not only that, again, these are free-to-play games, but who grows the fastest in free-to-play games? It's those players that spend the money that they don't have to spend, right? And so I remember that in Lord of Ultima specifically, I was paying or spending $400 a month to play that game and to get extra bonuses and level ups and all this kind of stuff. And that was one of the very first times that I spent that much money. And I didn't really do it for very long. I think I did it for about 6 months or something like that. And fortunately, maybe for me and my wallet, that game shut down, and they closed their doors and they said they were shutting down. To this day, I don't even know why they were shutting down. It seemed like a lot of people were paying a lot of money for that, and it was a really popular game. But for whatever case, they ended up shutting down, and fortunately, or unfortunately, I went to go look for other games. Since then, I don't think I've ever spent that much in each month after month, for that many months. But there are many games after that experience that I was like, this is so much more fun for me to play, spending a little bit of money like this to get these power-ups and level-ups. And that's kind of what my first introduction away from free-to-play to a game where I could pay some money, and even at that time, it wasn't NFT games, right? Now that I own these assets, it's even better. But again, in those games, I do remember there was a lot of cutthroat stuff going on, and we would have spies and espionage, and I think I liked that aspect of the game even more than the other things. Of course, when you're not playing for money and you're not really hurting people financially, then it was more fun to do that kind of thing. But if we're going to be playing against friends, because now we're in this community and we know each other a lot more. It's not like it's a bunch of random, it's not like playing with 5,000 other people in a group of 100 people and you don't know anybody else. Because I feel like I know y'all now, right? And so if I was on an opposite team, I'm not sure, and we were about to do something where somebody's going to lose $1,000 of real cash, I'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do that to somebody. Whereas in that particular game, I was absolutely for leading people down the wrong path. And I remember that in that game specifically, you could actually destroy what other people had built up. Again, this is a free-to-play game, although you could spend money on it to build things up. And you built up castles and you built up buildings and so on. And if you attacked them with a big enough army, you could actually knock their castle level back from level 10 down to level 1. You couldn't fully destroy it unless you invaded it and took it over in a specific way. But even then, you could send an invading force and take over their castle, right? And of course, again, people are putting money in here and everybody, you don't own those assets. But, and so I was a very powerful player on a top alliance team in that. And I remember that there was a continent that very early on we were trying to bring more people into our guild. In other words, we were trying to go and defeat the smaller guilds to get them out of the way. And if they had any really good players, we would onboard them into our guild or offer them a position into our guild. And of course, we would drop off our players that weren't performing as well and bring in these new players from a new guild that we conquered. Kind of think of like Rome conquering another city back in real history, real world history. Rome would go out, conquer other cities, and bring in those people and those fighters and so on. And that's kind of what we were doing in this game, is conquering these other things. And I remember there was a continent that had a pretty substantial guild on it. We were a little bit stronger than they were, but not by a lot. And they held some resources on this continent. And I remember I was not the leader of the guild that I was in, but I was someone who was very outspoken. And I had a couple of people that really wanted to kind of follow along with me. And I've always been someone who can take charge and who can make things happen. And so I said, hey guys, I want to go raid this continent. And I think one of the other leaders in the guild was saying, no, we don't have time for that. We don't have resources for that. We're not going to go and do that. And I said, well, I think we should. Who wants to follow me? Let me take us a group of 5 people. Again, we had a whole guild of 100 people. So I said, I need 5 people that are going to follow me and do this stuff. And we went in and we invaded this entirely new continent, established some beachhead cities and castles that we built up really quick, and ended up taking over that entire continent, destroying all of their castles, and bringing in probably about 20 new people to that guild that were really strong players to help us eventually become the top guild for a long time in there. And again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about other games necessarily, but the fact that one of the things that I really enjoyed about that was the interpersonal communication with those other players, because a lot of those players felt a total loyalty to their guild that they were in, and they did not want to leave their guild. They did not want to, because one of the very first things that we did when we went over there is we said, hey guys, we're about to knock down a bunch of your castles. Please join us and be a part of our guild and get on board with us here, so we don't have to knock down your castles. But if you don't join us, then we're going to have to do that. And of course, some people folded right away and they said, all right, yeah, we want to be on the bigger team. We can see, or they could see, that we were a little bit bigger of an alliance, and so they joined us. And of course, that helped strengthen our team as well. But other people held out. They said, no, I'm staying loyal to my leader. I'm staying loyal to the leaders here. I don't want to leave them. And I felt really bad. I did, even in this free-to-play game, right? Felt really bad about going and destroying their castles. And there was a time when I would just hit a few of them at a time, and I would knock down a couple, and I said, listen, we could keep going on this. I don't want to have to do this. Please come on in. We're a friendly group. And of course, there were other people saying, oh, but I love, we've got such a good community in our guild. I said, yeah, we've got a good community in our guild too. Everybody always thinks that the other side is not as friendly as, oh, my team is more friendly. My team is more supportive. My team is more helpful. Guys, if y'all have been playing in guild versus guild stuff before, any of the top guilds, any of the top 5 or 10 guilds in any of those games is just as personable, just as fun, just as interactive, just as helpful as any of the others. That you don't get to be a top 5 guild by being a jerk to everybody else or being a jerk to your members. Your members are going to leave your guild if you're a jerk, right? Too much. So anyway, there was a lot of pressure, and I remember ultimately one of the things that I really got good at was convincing the leaders of some of these other guilds to do the right thing for your people, right? Listen, guys, other leader, we're about to come in and sweep through this area, would rather bring you in on a friendly basis. Come in and join us. Do the right thing for your people, and so their castles can stay up and they don't have to be crushed, right? And eventually I got really good at that, and even known for that kind of thing in the game. And so people would easily or quickly join us that way, and it grew our guild pretty fast. Nobel says, I'm off. All have a good one, and don't forget to like the drop. Yeah, thanks. And Nobel, I'm glad you said something right now, because in 4 more minutes we are going to have the other giveaway, the last giveaway for today. And because you've spoken some words right now, your name will still be in the list for the giveaways coming up, right? So some of y'all have been talking recently. Again, we've got about 3 more minutes until we actually take the names, so you don't need to get up and jump in right at this moment. But if you do say something now, you will be on the list here for the giveaway we're going to do in a little bit. Let me catch up with chat here real quick, and then we're going to do this. And then Sergeant, I have you on my list of names here. I do owe you 2 tickets, and I'm going to give them to you anyway, whether you like it or not. I just need your wallet address, which I don't think I've got a wallet address for you yet. If you want to send that to me in a private Discord message, then let me get you those 2 raffle tickets for the winning. And like I said, if you really, really don't want to be a winner or hold on to this, and you want to, give it back to the community, then we can talk about that a little bit later and find out how we can do that. But until then, I'd like to move forward with you being winning at least these 2 tickets here. Umar, hey, it's been a little bit of time. I did see you here, but now's a good time for me to say hello to you. I'm glad to see you in chat. Very cool. Let me come back over here and make sure that y'all are getting your names on this list right here. This is the one that we're looking at right here. So make sure you get your names on this list. All you got to do is say hi. Let's see here. Crypto Grady says, what will govern the guilds that I'm a part of will be the golden rule. That's right. So, Crypto Grady, when you say that, does that mean that you are not going to join any guilds that do sneaky things? And by sneaky things, I don't necessarily mean dirtbag stuff, but I mean, would you join a guild and kind of think of like a poker team, right? Would you join a poker team where people lied and bluffed and said things that weren't true, or led other players down the wrong path to something? Right? Yes, while still being competitive like poker. Right, so that's the thing. Yeah, so probably that would be something. There's like a delicate balancing act. You don't want to be a dirtbag, right? I would never want to do anything like that. But at the same time, one of the most interesting, fun parts of me about the other game I was describing was not the actual combat of the game, not even really the gameplay of the game, but the social aspect of the game outside of it. And then you've heard me describe it over the last few minutes. And that was one of the most interesting parts of the game to me, right? And it might be still an interesting part, although for the last several games that I've played, it took a lot of time and energy for me to do that, and I haven't wanted to spend that much time or energy into other games since then. But it was like a full-time job to do that for the guild. Joshua Burton, hello Joshua, how are you doing today? Welcome on in. Sorry I'm a little late catching up with chat. Zabu says, sounds fun. It was a lot of fun there. Good luck with the roll, Nobel says, as he is heading out. Nobel will still be on our list just because it's so short. My time to shine, Rob says. Indeed, indeed. Umar, I'll have to send you my address. Yeah, you're welcome to do that on the Discord message in private, so I can have that. Yeah, I'll be sure to send it later, Sergeant says. Carol says, I'm here. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. We are just about to do the spin of the wheel here. Crypto Monete is in the house. Welcome on in. Crypto Grady says, sneaky things are okay, but we'll have clear, defined lines. Yeah, so that's an interesting topic, Crypto Grady. I would love to have a chat with maybe you, maybe some other people too, about where do we draw the line between thinking someone is a jerk and playing a game in a fun type of way, right? And I'm not necessarily sure I've given that a ton of thought. But like I said, I remember playing that other game where I would crush these people's castles, and some of these people would actually spend cash to build up their castles faster. Even though that was a free-to-play game, they would spend money to build up their castles faster, and then I would just come in and destroy them if they weren't going to bend the knee, right? I gave them the opportunity, bend the knee, or we're going to take over, and they wouldn't. So I crushed them, right? So, is that a jerk? Was that being a jerk, right? And I don't want you to say no just because it's me, right? And you know me well enough, I hope, to know that I'm not a jerk. But the person who's getting crushed feels that the dominator is a jerk, right? Most of them felt that I was being a jerk, crushing them when they were just trying to play a game. I'm just trying to play the game, don't crush me. Now, of course, in that specific game, they were near resources, and they were taking resources that were blocking us from growing. And so that was just part of the game. We needed those resources if we were going to be growing our guild, and we had to stop the other players, the other people that weren't in our guild, from getting those resources. We also wanted the players themselves. The active players is one of the best resources you can have for a guild. If you've got a guild with 100 players, but only 2 of them are active, you're not going to be able to do a lot. And so we wanted to try to get all the active people as well, right? But how do you do that? And some people were so loyal. That was something else that I really want to bring out. Some people were so loyal to their leaders in the face of death that they didn't even know it was good for them. They just wanted to be loyal. I just want to be loyal to my leader. I was like, dude, just come over here with us, be loyal to this leader. You're gonna have a much better time. In fact, some of those other leaders, they weren't even really very good leaders, right? And I was not a leader of my guild. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying that I was a good leader. I was not a leader. I was like the pit bull warhound that would go out and bring other players to their knees for my leader, right? That was my role in that guild. As I would go out and I'd try to do it with words first. I'd try to, do it all verbally. Hey, come over to our team. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. I give them plenty of chances. But that's the thing. You have to play, and sometimes playing gets dirty. All right, let's go ahead and do this, guys. It is 4 minutes after the hour. We're going to spin this wheel one last time today to see who walks away with this thing here. Oops, what am I doing? There we go. All right, so let's make sure we've got everybody in here. We've got 9A7A, Born to Die, Carol, Crypto Grady, Crypto Monete, Nobel, Rob Dig Root, Romario Raven, Sergeant Filthy McNasty, Umar L. Zabu. Did I miss anybody? Let me scroll back a little bit and just see. Joshua Burton, if you are here in chat, please say hello one more time if you're still hanging out with us. Otherwise, I don't see you on my list. And Mystical Meows, I know, is in class, but if she's here, Joe Kamach, if you're still here in chat as well, chime in with us. You've got just a few more seconds to get your name on my list. Anybody else back there? We're not going to scroll back too much further, but I think that is it. Oh, okay. Joshua, you are here. Awesome. Let's go ahead and grab you. We'll add you to the list. And let's see. Anybody else? Yeah, 987 says PsyOps Rock. That was me. That was definitely me, was the PsyOps. And I found that more fun than the actual game mechanics of that. Although I was decently good at that to be able to crush those other players, right? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and spin this wheel. Oh, let's do one other thing first. Let's take off rollover for today, or for now, since this is the last thing of the day. Then we don't need to do a rollover, but let's give smaller pieces of the pie right here. Everyone has the same chance. It's just that we're tripling up everybody, so it's more interesting when the wheel starts to get slower. The anticipation will be bigger. Let's go ahead and spin this wheel and see who's going to win. It turns out that the winner is... Oh, is it going to be Romario Raven or Rob Dig Root? Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Rob Dig Root, congratulations. You are the winner. Congratulations. So Rob, I'm going to mark you on my list right now as well. Please send me a Discord private message with your wallet address, and I'm going to send all of you. So let's see, Sergeant, you get 2 tickets today, and Mystical Meows gets 1, and Rob gets 1 as well. And the other tickets I gave out this morning on Twitch. So every day we give out 6 of these tickets, and for those of you that are not too familiar with my stream, every day, 30 minutes after each hour that I stream, I'm giving out these Rock 808 Play to Earn reward tickets. So these are NFTs that you will own in your wallet. They're on the Polygon blockchain. So I am trying to work with the crypto meme, and I'm going to try to create a new token for us specifically on the DFK chain, so I can hand y'all out DFK chain native tokens. But for now, this is all I've got. So I'll be handing out these on the Polygon chain, and then you're going to try to collect as many of these as you can, right? I'm giving out 6 of these a day, 1 an hour, 30 minutes after each hour that I'm streaming. And then on Saturday, you will redeem these tickets, turn these back into me for a chance to win something of some kind of value. Generation, a newly summoned hero perhaps, a pet egg. Last weekend we actually hatched a new blue pet egg and gave that off. It might be loot, attunement crystals, stones of some kind, enhancement stones. Lots of opportunities to get different types of things in the raffle on the weekend on Saturday. So that's what you want to be a part of, right? Let's go, Rob says. Indeed. I'm Umfreak on Discord. Awesome. Very cool. So just send me a message, a private message, if you haven't already, with your wallet address that you want me to send this to, and I will get that over to you here in a little bit. Okay, let me catch up with chat while we're here and we're wrapping up the stream. And if you need that, I do think that I want to create another short little video that describes this a little bit. So new players that are coming in, I don't need to take a lot of stream time to describe it. I can just point you to a video and says, hey, here, watch this and see what's going on. So I'll probably have a YouTube video up for this, about this pretty soon as well, and how to look at it. I did notice that someone from our DFK community didn't know how to get into OpenSea and find their tickets in their hidden folder on OpenSea. So maybe I want to display, go through that step also and show how that's done as well. So let's see. Grady says, sneaky things are okay, but we'll have to have clearly defined lines. Absolutely. I won't be a part of guilds who fundamentally seek to harm other guilds. And that's the good question. When we're talking about money and people spending money on NFTs and that kind of thing, where do we draw the line on that? Right? Let's see. As the channel, I will welcome all guilds to come and speak. I will play the game the way it's intended. Yes, I agree with that. There will always be those that game and manipulate for profit, and then those that feel you can't beat them, join them. Absolutely. And so again, I don't know what kind of game we're going to be getting, and I want to make sure that we're not doing anything too crazy. be played competitive, yes, but not dirty. That is true. I agree totally with that, Crypto Grady. Playing the game fine as long as it's the stuff in the rules, but definitely nothing dirty, I would say. Something that would be fair to everybody, but absolutely, I think we are going to, at least in some areas, maybe that's part of it also, is like for Fight Club. In Fight Club, we talk smack in the Fight Club chat, right? We try to throw each other off of our game a little bit. We, say things like, oh, I'm gonna, wipe the floor with you or whatever. But then, of course, after the Fight Club stuff, we're all friends again. And I think that's something that really is going to go a long way to this, right? Where you can be competitive, you can play, but then maybe we don't want to be holding grudges or trying to manipulate somebody outside of whatever. As a great example, I could see something where if you're borrowing someone's hero, like not giving their hero back when the time is right. I could see something like that would be a good example of playing dirty and mean, and something that I definitely would not be putting up with, and that kind of stuff. Absolutely. The dirty ones I will expose, Crypto Grady says. Awesome. That's what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear. Let's see. I think the devs will put barriers in to prevent dirty guilds that hurt the community. That's good too. Yeah. In a way, I would like to not have anyone banned too early, right? So that I've seen in some other cases, not in DeFi Kingdoms, but in some other areas where people have gotten banned from things without a lot of research or understanding first, and that has made me very skeptical of the team of people that's in control when they ban other people without knowing the full story. And that's turned me off to some other projects, right? So as long as we are giving someone a fair trial, I think is really good. But just like the people who scammed Ogre Abroad out of the crypto there, that would be a really good example of not playing fair, playing dirty, not somebody that we want in the community, and I think everybody agrees with that. Let's see. Zabu says, I apologize beforehand, taking y'all's lunch money. Right. Exactly. And I think as long as we know that, hey, if we put money into this certain thing, like if we're putting money into PvP, then all of us are well aware that the money is going in there, and we're all willing and ready and able to lose that money. But could you imagine, as an example, someone with a gambling addiction? What if we had someone in our community with a gambling addiction that could just not stop gambling all their money away on whatever it is in here, trying to go PvP and get into the PvP, or trying to get into a community that maybe would only allow certain levels of players, and you have to beat so much stuff before you get in there. And so this guy, he keeps attempting to get a position or a good ranking so he can get into this guild that he really wants in, and then he spends more than all of his lunch money. He spends his mortgage, his monthly mortgage, or his rent for the month, and then he's kicked out on the streets. Right? Because he doesn't have enough money to pay his rent or his mortgage or his car payment or something like that. Right? I know that there are going to be people like that. There are people like that all over the place. So that kind of thing is going to be a little challenging for me to deal with. I'm going to need to consider that a little bit as well. Anyway, I agree, Zabu. I also apologize early before taking y'all's lunch money, but as long as we know the rules, and as long as we know where we are putting our money in, whether it's duels or PvP or buying $1,000 hero, and we know the risks, We all know the risks. Yeah. They should be responsible for gambling features like on gambling websites. You know, I want to say yes in a way, but I don't know how enforceable that would be, right? For some of those things. I mean, how do you ensure without KYC? And I'm not really a big fan of KYC either. But how do you enforce some of those things without KYC? It's a challenge that I've thought about myself. Anyway, I love what we got going on. I think we got a good group of people here, and I think as long as we have content providers and players and community members out there like y'all who set the boundaries and set the guidelines, and the devs, of course, I think are all going to be responsive to the guidelines that we want to set. And as long as we are careful and encourage other players to be careful with their money as well and give good information, right? I think there's a huge difference with content providers that would provide shady information to try to win a quick buck, as opposed to content providers and even just other community members that are sharing misinformation or something because they're trying to you know, do something. And maybe that's where the dirtiness comes in, is when if you try to manipulate people outside of what would be considered the gamification part of that, right? Of course, I don't want to make the rules. I don't want to say what is clean playing and what's dirty playing. I'm sure that what we will probably end up having is some community guidelines where people can vote on those things, and then probably the devs and the community would uphold some values based on what's being voted on, is my guess of the proper way to do that, especially in a decentralized game that I think we're all trying to have, right? Where we don't have a very small set of rulers that we must conform to, right? Sabu says, I think WTS means with that said. Mythic Doggo barks at everything and eats a ton. Yes. Yeah. Or Dogo. Yeah. I agree. Some of those heroes are going to be powerhouses for sure. Those are the ones that we want to get. Those are the ones that we want to scoop up. All right, guys. We've got 10 more minutes on this stream. You're willing to sell? Oh, what? What do you got? Zabu, do you have a hero ID number? Can we go look at a hero that you might be willing to sell? Are you actually saying you're willing to sell something? Tell you what, I'm willing to sell also. Just to say it. I've got a Gen 0 right here. Remnella, Kralak, Gen 0. Crystal Veil Hero number 30. I'd be willing to sell that. Of course, the question is for how much. So if we take over here, Crystal Veil Hero number 30. In fact, I'll drop that in chat. All right. Remnella Kralak. Legendary Berserker Warrior Gardener here. Gen 0 hero. Right? I'd be willing to sell her. For what though? I don't know. You'd have to make me a really good offer. Let's see. Sabu says, no, I'm joking about the gambler that sells everything. Oh, my in real life, my real life Drogo is plus. Yes, yeah. You don't want a Dogo. Yeah. I don't think we want to be selling our real pets. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody would want to sell their real pet. Maybe they're moving. Can't take him with them. I had a couple of friends that were in that situation a while back. They were moving into an apartment, and the apartment wasn't allowing pets, and so they ended up having to sell their pet, I guess. I don't know. Maybe some people aren't as attached to some of their pets as other people. I know some other people that would choose to not live in a place that wouldn't allow their pets either, right? So there's all kinds of people out there. Anyway, guys, we got 9 more minutes on the stream, so I kind of want to wrap things up. We did talk about all these things DFK. I've dropped my Darlantis Discord in there, or you could just do !! Discord. So it's nice to see everybody is in here and saying hi, and coming in. Born to Die, Low Tech. I've heard that name before. Low Tech, who are you? Who do I know that is Low Tech? Let's see. Sabu says Gen Zero Crystal for sure. Oh man. And Romario Raven says for 1 crystal. I don't know. Is it gonna be the Hope Diamond Crystal? Are we gonna say that? Or 1 M Sand? I think it would have to be more than 1 DeFi Kingdoms crystal or 1 sandbox sand token. Yeah. And I'm fairly attached to this Gen Zero, by the way. I'm not suggesting that I'm going to be selling that easily. I like that Gen Zero. I do. You'd have to really convince me about that to sell it. Romario says, no man, it's just some code on the blockchain. It's not worth that much. Yeah, it is, right? It's just some code on the blockchain. Yeah, man, it's just some code. Somebody could duplicate that easy enough. In that case, Romario, let me just pass it on to you right here. You want to give me a sand token or something? Alright guys, like I said, drop into the Discord. Make sure you're checking out everybody else's Discord. One of the things that we looked at today quite a bit was Born to Die. And we looked at the DFK Quester tools. He's got some really great stuff. His announcement section here. If you've not watched Christian's new video talking about the DFK Quester, I'd say go ahead and look at that, maybe. Also, Crypto Grady or Sergeant. I'm not sure if Sergeant's still in here or not. But Crypto Grady, Sergeant, are y'all, or anybody out there, are y'all going to be streaming sometime a little bit later? I would love to hear that y'all are. I don't want to put any pressure on anybody though. But if y'all are streaming, it would be good to let everybody else know. Maybe like what time. You're saying you're not sure. That's fine. Like I said, I don't want to put any pressure on anybody. I know sometimes that makes it harder to think about doing if there's pressure, but maybe. Awesome. Okay. So we'll be on the lookout for Crypto Grady's Twitter, I think, is where you oftentimes post that you're going live on your Twitter. It's maybe the easiest way to see that. Yeah. Also, Crypto Grady, sometime very soon, I want to work with you specifically, and I'd like to try to get my viewers here from my YouTube folded in to your live stream that you're starting, right? So maybe there's a couple of times when you can start right as I'm ending, or if you're going to start, like if you say, oh, I'm going to start in an hour or 15 minutes or something like that, then maybe I can extend my stream out a little bit longer to match up with whatever you're trying to do. And I know, I say I know, I'm pretty sure that YouTube has a way to dump all of the users that are here into another streamer's stream. And so I'm gonna look into that. As soon as I get off stream here, I'm gonna see how we can do that. And then I wanna play around with it too. Because whether it's you or Sargent or anybody else, Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms or whoever is doing a stream at that time, I would like to kind of build the community together in such a way that if any one of us is leaving our stream or shutting down our stream, that we can go check these other places and say, oh, DFK community, I'm getting off my stream, but here's someone who's live right now. Let's go and show them some love, all that kind of stuff. Click their like button, subscribe to their channels, all that kind of stuff as well. And then dump the live chat in there. So that's something that we used to do on Twitch a lot. It's a feature that we've all loved on Twitch. And so I'd like to see if we can do that on YouTube as well. Yeah, exactly. Sargent says, all DFK all the time. Right. Can you imagine? I remember there was one time I was ending my stream for Sandbox stuff, and I was going to bed, or I wasn't going to bed. I was ending my stream, and I was getting offline, and there was someone else who was streaming Sandbox, and so I said, okay, we're going to go raid so-and-so, and I forget who it was exactly. But I ended up raiding them, and they ended up raiding someone else in another country, I guess in Asia, over the night time. They ended up raiding somebody else, and by the time I got back the next day, some of these people had said, yeah, they had been raiding and dropping those users from one thing to the other, one live stream to the next. And so everyone all night, the whole nighttime period when I wasn't streaming, there were other streamers that were, you know, passing the baton to the next live streamer and so on. It was really cool. It was a really good community. Crypto Grady, you know, you talk a lot about DFK community being so fantastic. I kind of feel, well, I do agree with you. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely, DFK community is fantastic. But I kind of feel that there's a lot of other communities out there that we might want to check out just to kind of get a feel or look at some of those other communities and community members and how they're run. Because I know for a fact, just like when I was talking about the guilds that we had earlier, where people are so loyal to their game guilds that they don't even look outside their own guild to see that somebody else is doing something better, right? And there are groups of people out there that are doing amazing things that we might be able to get some additional ideas for, and that we might, even just like the rating example or something, and we might be able to find really cool other ideas that we would want to incorporate in DeFi Kingdoms. Even if we're going to stick with DeFi Kingdoms, you know, I swore up and down that I was going to stick with Sandbox last year. If you were talking to me this time last year, I was not even looking at another project. Someone would say, oh, check out this project, or oh, check out this project. I say, I don't have time for it. I'm in Sandbox. And I would spend 8 to 12 hours streaming Sandbox. That's the only thing I cared about, the only thing I wanted to hear about, right? And there could be other people in other communities, but eventually over time, and let me share this with some of y'all too. So if I was streaming Sandbox 8 to 12 hours a day, every single day, for months and months at a time, then what was one of the things that kind of dragged me away, if you would say that? Like, if we're trying to bring new people into DeFi Kingdoms, for those super loyal people that are loyal to some other project, what would it take, right? What could we think about doing or offering? And here is what it was for me. There was a guy in Sandbox that was really fun and upbeat. His name was Mr. Winning, and he would be on my stream quite a bit. He came in, and of course in Sandbox you've got this live interactive 3D metaverse that you can jump into and play these 3D characters moving around in the 3D space there, right? And we would go and have fun and play games, and would do giveaways and all this other kind of stuff in this 3D space, and he became a really good friend of mine. And with that connection there, he would tell me like, hey, I found this new game, DeFi Kingdoms, you know, come check it out. And again, I was like, no, don't have time, don't want to check it out. I'm fully invested in Sandbox, and I don't want to spend even a moment of time trying to learn anything else, right? And then a few weeks later, he comes back to me again and he says, hey, you know, I really think you should check this out. It's got some good stuff. And he would tell me a little bit about it. And I think it was 4 times later, and maybe 2 months after he first told me, that finally he mentioned something about DeFi Kingdoms having 1,000% APR, and I didn't need to do anything or learn anything. It's just, hey, he just said, hey, let me get you into this APR where you can be earning 1,000% APR. And I was like, sounds good, hook me up. I trusted him enough to bring me in and to show me the ropes so I wouldn't have to spend a lot of time learning about something that I honestly did not care about at the time. Did not care to get into DeFi Kingdoms, did not care about the community, did not care about anything with that. But the 1,000% APR was worth it for me to have a friend of mine spend a little bit of time with me to show me how to get into the pool, right? And so I did. I got into the liquidity pool and I put some money in there. I think I moved a couple $100 or $1,000 or something like that. And then I didn't really do much else with it. And then a little while later, he said, hey, there's this thing, we can win these Generation Zero heroes through this raffle. All you've got to do is, you know, this one thing and that one thing. And because I had already started a little bit with it, I looked into it a little bit more. But here's the point that I'm going to get at, and that is, for somebody like me that was devoted to another platform as much as I was, it took a friend that I felt comfortable with, that was with me in another environment, to show me the ropes. And I didn't necessarily want to even spend minutes watching a video. So it's not like he could say, oh, just go watch this YouTube video. Because at that point, I didn't even want to watch a YouTube video about anything else. And so it was him bringing me on, leading me by the hand, say, hey, do this, here, do this, here, do this. And then that's what got me in. And then he was able to help me with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And as I got more into it, I started to appreciate it more. And I did naturally grow a greater interest in DeFi Kingdoms over time, right? But it was that. So if we're talking about bringing other people in, there is, of course, he spent quite a bit of time bringing me, just me in. But now look, I'm a streamer that streams 6 hours a day. And even though I don't have a huge audience now in DeFi Kingdoms, we had a big audience in Sandbox. We had 50 people watching on a daily basis, like all day, every day. It was 50 people. And, but because I was one of the bigger streamers for Sandbox, streaming that much content all the time, then I got really well known in that community, right? And people would oftentimes send people my way to my stream to get educated, just like some of y'all are saying here, Mr. Zipper 2.0. I don't think I'm Mr. Zipper 2.0 yet, or even close to that, but for Sandbox, I did have a huge amount of information, spending as much time as I did, and I could answer many questions, and if I didn't know, I could answer that stuff. And so eventually, I'm supposing that I will have a whole lot of DeFi Kingdoms information as well. And if I don't know the answer, we've got a fantastic community out here that would know the answer to, or that would I could redirect, you know, some people to somebody else too. So, and then now, DeFi Kingdoms has this streamer, me, doing this, right? So there could be other people out there that we could bring in from other communities that would be really loyal and devout. And I'm not saying doing anything sneaky, but I didn't even know what I was missing when I was in Sandbox as far as DeFi Kingdoms goes. And there could be other people out there too that would absolutely love DeFi Kingdoms. They just need to get introduced to it in the right way. Gently, perhaps, not rushed, not coerced in any kind of way, because we're not that type of community anyway. And sometimes it may take time, but sometimes that time is worth it, right? Sometimes that time is worth it to take a little bit of time there. Yeah. Christian Peter coming into our chat. Hey Christian, how are you doing? So great to see you here. I loved your recent video, and I'm so happy to see you back in the DFK community. I know that you had taken a break, and I understand all that stuff, sell in May and go away. I agree, I should have done that. I am so jealous that you sold at the right time there. I did not sell. I stuck it out, and I hodled way too long. I'm still hodling. You know, there's something to be said for, oh well, you have that loyalty, you're gonna hodl, that's a really good trait to have. No, it's not. I should have seen the writing on the wall for the global economic trends, and I should have got the F out of there in May and then come back and bought in later. So I really appreciate your videos, and I was sad to see so many YouTubers that were streaming, or not streaming, but so many YouTubers that were doing such great YouTube content that I loved back in the earlier part of this year. When the bear market started to hit, so many of them just left and, you know, either did other things or pulled out of crypto. And I did too. I mean, crypto was down, and so for a while I pulled out of, or I stopped streaming for a little while myself. I didn't sell my DeFi Kingdom stuff or crypto tokens, which I should have, but I still pulled away from streaming. So glad to have you back, Christian. Everybody enjoys your videos. I keep hearing oftentimes that a lot of the community here is really happy to have you, and Brown Gent is doing more videos again now, so that's super fantastic. Yeah, so that's great. Let me catch up in chat a little bit, because I know that I always do like to catch up in chat, and I know, of course, Christian, you're coming in right here at the end of the stream, and we're not really talking necessarily a whole lot about DeFi Kingdoms right at this moment, just kind of shooting the breeze, but awesome to have you here. Thanks. Let's see. Sergeant says, I'm sure they're Magic Gathering or D&D streamers who would be interested. Yeah, absolutely. So those would be great streams to get into, and maybe those people who are already interested in that type of content would be a perfect people to try to get into DeFi Kingdoms, especially once we have a little bit more of an active game to play, right? So as long as we can play game, I'm thinking of things like Axie Infinity might be another good place, because those people are already playing a crypto game, and even a crypto kind of card game type of thing, battling or Pokemon type thing could be really interesting. Those players might already like some of the types of stuff that we're doing here. So as we're starting to find new players, where do we go to find those new players? That could be a good thing. And also with my little story about how to bring in some of those people. So Zabu says, Carver is coming in 1 day and 2 hours. Oh yeah, we definitely want to make sure to look at the Stone Carver and get ready for the Stone Carver coming in. So Zabu, thanks for dropping that piece of information. Let's see. Romario says, they should feel lucky that they have you. Yeah, I think any content provider that's providing good content, we're worth our weight in gold. And I don't like to toot my own horn, but I am very aware that the more content that's being provided out there by all kinds of people in different styles, where I've kind of got a day in the life and I talk about a bunch of stuff, and I'm not dropping a huge amount of alpha, unlike Christian and Crypto Grady and Brown Gent and Sergeant Filthy McNasty interviewing a whole bunch of really amazing people. That's not necessarily my channel, or hasn't been yet anyway. But all these different content providers are providing some really good information, and in different styles and different ways. I can't get enough DeFi Kingdoms. Let's see. Keep up the great content. Thanks a lot, Christian. Yes, indeed. So, Sergeant Philly Massey, you're going to see him on the 18th. So, let's see here. And Crypto Grady, can't wait to have you on tomorrow. So, tell me a little bit about this. Crypto Grady and Christian, are you going to be on Crypto Grady's channel tomorrow? I know that there's some stuff coming up, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. So, Christian, are you going to be on his live stream tomorrow? And then, Christian, are you going to be joining Sergeant on one of his streams a little bit later? Is that what I see going on here in chat? Bullish, Christian says. Absolutely. Yep, on Grady's tomorrow around 1 p.m. Okay, awesome. So that's really good for me to know. So I oftentimes, or I do stream on YouTube every day from 2 p.m. Central Time to 5 p.m. Central Time. So it's 11 minutes after I normally stream. But since you and a couple of other people jumped in here, I thought I'd extend my stream a little bit longer. But if y'all are streaming tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, I definitely do not want to I definitely don't want to be streaming at the same time, and I really want to watch y'all live. So it's good to know that y'all are going to be streaming tomorrow. Yes. So everybody go check that out. In fact, is there a tweet out about that I can retweet? If y'all haven't posted a promotional tweet on that yet, please do. And then let me tweet that or retweet that pretty early as well, as soon as we can. And then, of course, Sergeant says, Christian and I are doing an in-person meetup in San Diego. Oh, wow, on the 18th. That'll be amazing as well. And so, Sergeant, if you've got some dates on that, I guess you're saying the 18th. Do we have a DeFi Kingdoms calendar where some of this stuff can be posted on there? So we could have like a one-stop place to look for this stuff? Because I don't want to miss anything, but I feel like, I'm getting information that I don't remember, and I'm not adding my own personal calendar. Retweet! Sergeant's tweet is up about the meetup. Awesome. Very good. So, Sergeant Filthy McNasty, let's go ahead and get onto you. And there's a tweet up here. Christian Peter, awesome. So we definitely want to retweet this and with a quote and say, whoa, this is going to be amazing. I'm adding it to my calendar now, and or actually DFK and all this other kind of stuff in there as well. I know we want to be using hashtags. Look at this, guys. We've got to do something about this. Look at what's happening here. I'm putting DeFi Kingdoms and it's not coming up as a trending hashtag to even give me an example of something like that. But if I put something like NFT gaming or something, we've got all that kind of stuff there. We've got to do better, guys, at getting DeFi Kingdoms as a trending hashtag right here. And then, yeah, so definitely. And then Christian, I should have you here as well. And also, let's see, that ought to be good. Okay, tweet. All right, very good. Thanks a lot for that. So Friday, it's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I guess there's going to be I'll have to see what time that is for me. But yeah, sounds great. Love it. Love it indeed. Okay, guys, that is wrapping it up for my stream. Really appreciate y'all being here and hanging out. Definitely want to be watching Crypto Grady Show tomorrow and Sergeant Filthy McNasty on the 18th. Make sure that y'all get the tweets out. Make sure that y'all are retweeting those so we get that in front of more people's eyeballs. Use the appropriate hashtags and all that kind of stuff. And maybe even some other things like NFT gaming, which I probably should have included NFT gaming to bring some non-DeFi Kingdoms people in, and some other stuff there too. I normally do, but I was so excited I didn't add all the extra hashtags I wanted to. Okay, until then, guys, any last minute words before we are out for the day? It's been another fantastic stream. I need to start getting some shorter, more digestible 10-minute content, so I think I'm going to try to work on that again this evening. Until then, guys, thanks for being here. Have an amazing week. Rich Beats from YouTube. And I will see y'all later. Until then, rock out.